I got a feeling that you got me covered too. I got you covered. I got you covered.
Hi, everybody. How is everybody doing? My daughter gave a quick phone call, and so I was on the phone with her and the computer, just trying to get that working and everything. So, between the two things, I was a little bit delayed from when I started. Hi, Sandy Wendy. So, I wanted to apologize for that. Give me just a second. Hi, Scratch and Pete. My nose. Oh, anyway, hopefully that tickle went away. When I used to play the flute, it was always funny when it was time to play the flute, time to get things going. You'd be holding your flute and you'd be performing in a performance and you couldn't do anything. You couldn't stop to go like that. You just had to keep going. And it was just like, I always found that time to go to have that itch that you just had to keep going with. But anyway, um, I appreciate everybody' patience yesterday as I was kind of just dealing. I between the two things, we were just really just I had nothing left. I was done yesterday. So yes, I do play the flute, and when I find my flute wherever we have it packed away from, and I have to go get it fixed because Christina played it, and when she played it, it ended up getting damaged, and so when it did, um, we need to go get it fixed so that I can play it. And then when I do, then I can actually um, I can maybe come and play it on here for you all. But it has to get fixed. She played it, she borrowed it, and then hi Javen, and then it got damaged, so it needs repaired. So I just wanted to put this in that we're live in the Facebook group or in the Lifeboat group if anybody wants to join us. Um, but I wanted to have this topic because on a couple different notes, and that is this. When I got on the scale on last Sunday, and I said I've been kind of thinking, should I try Weight Watchers again? Should I do it? And I got on the scale and I was 280.8. I'm like, okay, got to figure something out, and I'm done. And then I hopped on, the next day, and I found that special on that Weight Watchers was running until the end of the night, and I thought, "Yep, this is where I'm going. I have to do something because I don't want it to go to 300." That was for me, that was enough. I'm done. We can't keep going like this. I was trying to replicate Optavia, but I couldn't afford Optavia's food. So what I was trying to do to replicate it wasn't working. What do I need to do so that the scale numbers are coming down, not going up? So when in life do you say that, well, you know what, enough's enough. I've reached my point when I'm done. For me, it was that. But there's so many other things within our lives that we can say, you know what? No, I've had it to here. Whether it's dealing with a relationship that maybe you're being disrespected in, that you maybe need to sit down and have a serious talk. Maybe it's dealing with a friendship. Doesn't have to be a romantic relationship that you're in. Maybe it's dealing with stuff happening at work. Maybe it's dealing with, um, you know, uh, maybe you're dealing with some credit card debt. You say, okay, I got to figure out a way to get this reduced. I can't just keep living like this. Maybe it's it doesn't have to be huge monumental things. It can be, well, maybe I'm not moving enough so that I need to start moving some more. So, like my other keeper has started just saying, I'm going for a walk. It may not be very far, but I'm just going for a walk every day. And I'm trying to go in the evening too as well. We were in the counseling session with my husband and we were talking about my aunt, of course, and then we were talking about some other things. And my husband does better and he moves better in the pool. And I kind of get lost in my crochet world and I kind of go, okay. And then before I know it, I've had my coffee, I've had my breakfast, I'm doing some things, I'm crocheting. And before I know it, it's 7 o'clock at night. Like, where did the time go? So I said to the counselor today, and I said to my husband, I need help. I need you to help me help you because it'll be beneficial if we can get him in the pool a couple times a week where he is walking without hurting. And otherwise getting those body parts moving and it will be good for me too as well. And so I said, I need help because this can't all lie on me. I need to be motivated and realize that I need to go. So he's already put it in the phone and he's got it scheduled. So we're up tomorrow. He goes, I don't want to hear about it. And I said, listen, if you're moving, I don't care. We'll figure it out. I may not like the 7 o'clock wake up time tomorrow or 7:30, but we'll go. And I'm going to go without complaining or without grumbling or being upset that 7 o'clock's rolled around. And I just said, I need help. And he just said, I need to move. And for him, it's like, this is how I move best. And so for him, that has become enough is enough when it becomes to that. And I think that that really leads into boundaries. When you, I think before we get to the point, sometimes it can become a motivator. Like for me right now, the scale numbers going back down versus going back up are a huge motivation. They're a great way to get me motivated. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go back up again. I want to come back down and I want the numbers to go back down. So that is a motivator. However, it doesn't always have to be a motivator. That doesn't always have to be a motivator to the point. I think sometimes we need to get there before it gets there. We need to realize, wait a minute, we're getting too far in the loops. The boundaries are growing too much. We need to sit there and say, no, we need to realize that before it gets there, we maybe need to say, "Huh, we need to look at that, whether it's journaling, whether it's talking to a friend, whatever you need to do. So before maybe it gets to that pinnacle where you're up to here, right? We've all kind of done it with our kids to some degree. I didn't have brothers and sisters, so I don't know too much when it comes to that. I had, Christina was an only child, but, I'm sure as parents of more than one child, when they start arguing and bickering back and forth with each other, what is the response that maybe comes out of the mother's mouth sometimes? Enough's enough, you know? You guys got to stop and we got to sit down and work this out. Enough's enough before it gets and escalates to that, we maybe need to really, you know, get to the point where we go, okay, do we need to look at certain aspects of our lives and say, is it getting to the I've had it up to here kind of thing? Is it getting there? What situations in your life do you need to look at? For me, it was that scale. For me, yesterday, as I kind of did a live devotion Tuesday, and I'm sitting there going, well, you know, I was supposed to go on at 6:30 yesterday, and I've been given the honor of being a mod on Reese's channel, and so she run her live from 5:30 to 7:30, which was fine. And then I thought I have a half an hour before Kim goes live, and I know that Surviving Together comes on at 7, so I'm gonna try not to do it um, when some of the other key players from Lifeboat are on. But that's why the replay crew is so important because if you're not here for the live, even though I can honestly say it makes the chat a heck of a lot better, and I so appreciate the interaction that happens within the chat when more people are here, and that will grow and that will happen. Um, I'm going to try harder to make sure that doesn't happen. Um, I maybe on a Wednesday will come on maybe at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, instead of 6:37, because I don't want to take away from surviving together. That's why the replay crew is so important. And just on a little side note, we're 540 watch hours away from the 3,000. So if anybody can go back and just rewatch stuff you haven't seen or go and watch some of our nature streams just playing in the background, that would be so appreciative because we're almost there to 3,000. Just a little side note. I'm going to start putting pictures up on the thing when I get an update on watch hours and put a cute little mocha face with it because I thought maybe mocha will encourage you to just do that. That would be so helpful for us. But, we need to sit there, and yesterday, after that live got done, and then like, "Well, I have a half an hour. How are we supposed to talk about this topic within a half an hour? It's not gonna happen." And then after that, Kim came on, and she was on from 8 to 9:30 with Don Gloves, which was a really amazing, live. And then there was a half an hour between that and the lifeboat, and then by 11 o'clock, I'm thinking, "I'm done. Enough's enough today. I've done all I can do. I've run out of spoons, which I'm gonna put up that in just a minute. I've run out of spoons. Enough's enough. I'm done. There's nothing left for me to come even on a live and go." Because throughout the day, I had spent the day kind of on and off crying. I'm excited for my aunt coming, but at the same time, a little apprehensive. I don't want to spend the entire time with her here every time I look at her crying either. I want to have fun and I want to laugh and I want to enjoy her. And at the same time, I'm just processing through emotions right now. I was on a live, or I was on in the chat with Miss Dragon, and people in the chat. I was just typing and crying, and then, our prayers, of course, are with Jason's wife, Crafty Witch. And I know she went for surgery today and she's home and everything, and I'm glad she's doing well. But I said to him on another live in the chat with Ben Bacon Bits, I said, I'm really sorry. I should have asked about I thought about it kind of way later. Um, where I should have asked about how Crafty Witch is doing, your wife. And I said, I'm really sorry. He said, no worries. I understand, because I was just in such a state at that point of just going, I've got to deal with these emotions. When she comes here and she spends the week with us and she leaves and gets in the airport and leaves and gets on that plane and I give her the last hug, that's it. And so I got a really amazing message from Krista Melinda today, and she said, do not forget that you've got to stay connected right now. You have to. As much as I want to go hide in the corner, that's not going to solve anything. She said, you have got to stay connected. You have a lot going on. You have a lot on your plate. You have a lot of stress. You've got a lot of emotions, and you have to stay connected. You have to reach out to that support because you need it right now a lot more than you realize. And I was like, you're totally right. You're 100% right. I do need that lot more than I even realize. And I can't tell you how much the temptation was to take my little happy butt. It wouldn't have been happy after I done it. Take my little happy butt and go to the grocery store and buy some ice cream. It wouldn't have solved anything. It would have made me feel a heck of a lot worse. It would have numbed the pain. I wouldn't have felt it. But I was like, "No, Mary, enough's enough of using food to comfort. This is not going to change anything. Your aunt's not going to live another, 4 or 5 years by you eating ice cream. If it did, I'd go eat one. I'd go eat a tub of it. It's not going to change. It's going to help you feel better for a moment, but it's not going to do anything." So after I kind of made the decision after the boat to say, I'm emotionally tired. And then with all of the stuff going on yesterday, I looked at my little pill minder thing on my phone to be able to see, you know what? I hi Maritza. You know what? I'm 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 really hurting. Like I knew the stress level and the fibromyalgia was here. I knew it was. I'm like, Silly, no wonder you're hurting. You haven't had a pill since the day before at 7 PM at night. No wonder you're hurting." And I thought, "I okay. I need to take my medicine." So, my friend who's like a sister to me, mine, she kind of fussed me. She goes, "I won't fuss at you, but you need to take your medicine." And I took my medicine, and then Pup Groomer was on, and I was talking within the chat, and I said, "I'm going into lurker mode." And I said, "I'm just going to listen to you talk, because if I don't find somebody that I know to talk right now, my mind's not going to stop racing." I was asleep within about, didn't mean to snap. I didn't think my snap was gonna be that loud. I was asleep within about 5-10 minutes. I was that tired, and I slept through till I had to wake up this morning about 9. I was that exhausted. But see, yet by the time 11:30 came, it was my enough. And I even turned on my computer to come live. I even went to say I need to do my my little topic or devotion Tuesday, and I chose to come on and do a live topic or a devotion Tuesday instead. And I'm thinking, when do we say to ourselves, enough's enough? Do we need to get to the point of where we're so exhausted, like I was yesterday, where I literally needed, and I usually go to bed with somebody talking, but I thought, I've got to find somebody to talk that I know that can just talk. And so because my head was just spinning. When is enough enough? And I started looking at dates for my aunt to come here, and looking at airport travel dates and so forth. And I said yesterday, I said, "I can't do this." I literally, every time I looked at a travel date, I'm like, I can't make a decision on travel right now. I can't make a decision on what's best. I can't. I can't do it. And every time I looked at it, I cried, and I'm thinking, okay. And I thought, "Oh, Cricket, Chow Smut." I'm throwing out YouTube names. If you haven't checked all these channels out, go ahead and check them out. They're awesome. And I said, "I I'm gonna contact her." And so I've contacted her, and she is working to find a flight that is reasonable and good, and all that kind of stuff. I've taken that off my plate. Sometimes in life, when we are going through difficult times or not, we need to say to ourselves, enough's enough of whatever it is. Maybe it's not some kind of situation. And the only thing that I can really describe as far as the situation is like what is happening to me with my weight loss journey is like I got to that scale saying, up, no, that is not going to 281. I'm not going to allow it. Because if it goes to 281, dang on it, 300 will be here before I know it. It may take the next year for 300 to happen, but it is going to happen. And then I'm going to be sitting there going, I worked so hard a couple years ago to get the 50 off, and look where I am. And I was so happy. If you all haven't checked it out, and I'm going to put it in the chat. If you haven't checked it out yet, we did start a group. It is called the Blessed Disco Ball Warriors, and it is a group that is specifically there to help with encouragement. I was so glad to see Krista Melinda put in, that group was just popped down. That's the group for the Blessed Disco Balls. Um, uh, that she went on the scale, and she put in that report, her weight, and how she's reducing that. And I was glad to see that, where she said, "Okay, group, I'm having somebody help me accountable today." She's doing more of like a fasting um, than what I'm doing, but it doesn't matter. We're all there to help each other keep accountable to eating healthier, maybe losing some weight, maybe getting moving a little bit more, getting water down us, however that needs to happen. Um, um, Whatever it needs to happen to help us be healthier is what that's doing. We can pop healthy recipes in there, but it is a place where people can go if they just need that support. Like, I can put in there today a win. I did not go for ice cream. It wouldn't have done anything. I didn't really wanna deal with the pain, and I didn't want to cry. It was like, I'm done crying. And yes, my habit would be go to the ice cream, and then I don't feel anything. But it doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't change anything. It numbs it. It's my drug of choice. But realizing that enough's enough of me using food in that way, I can no longer use that food. Now, does it mean that I can't ever have ice cream again? No. And when my aunt comes down, my daughter, I said to my daughter, her birthday's in September. I said, we could throw a birthday party well, your aunt's here early. And she said, Mom, I would really like that. So, guess what? We're going to have cake and I'm going to enjoy it. It doesn't mean I'm never going to have those things, but using them to comfort yourself so you don't feel the pain is not something that I'm going to allow myself to do anymore because it doesn't serve any purpose. Enough's enough of that. And you need to decide in things in your life. I tried to find some tips and all that kind of stuff on there. But you need to find out in your life, when is enough for you? When do you get to the point where I'm done? Sandy Wendy says, I'm eating less sugar. Wonderful. If we're encouraging within that group to eat less sugar, that's awesome. Now, on Friday, I'm going to be doing a live on planning for success. And one of the things that I have kind of come to the realization is when you're dealing with a chronic illness, and I think this is a good thing to actually put up right now. I heard this the other day, and I can't remember which chat I heard it in. My head is just still spinning. Um, I Everybody's kind of heard of the spoon theory, where there was a lady that came across with, she's trying to describe to her friend what it was like to go through dealing with a physical chronic illness. And she said, everybody in life has a certain amount of spoons. We all have 12 spoons, 24, whatever. But everybody takes a spoon to do something. And I know this isn't very big, but you can blow it up hopefully on your phone. But anyway, it's like, taking pills is one spoon. Um, Watching TV is one spoon. Um, Getting dressed is one spoon. I have to blow it up on my phone because I can't. It's tiny. Hopefully, it's bigger on there. I'll put this in the. I sent it to my therapist today when we were there. Taking a shower is considered 2 spoons. Socializing 2 spoons. Paying bills is 2 spoons. Cleaning is 3. Shopping and making dinner and working kids to school and doing yard work. You can change it up to whatever it is. Yesterday, the thought of going to research flights incoming from Fort Lauderdale up here to Ohio was 3 spoons, if not 4. Going live was almost 4 spoons to me. By the time 11:30 ran out, I was overdrawn on I didn't have any more spoons to give. And sometimes when you're dealing with a chronic illness, you may be taking a shower, maybe 3 spoons. It may not be 2 that day. This may vary. You know, uh, it's paying your bills may just be. I've had those times where I'm like, I got to it's the third of the month. I got to pay the bills. And you're just sitting there going, I'm too exhausted to deal with it. It's maybe a 5 spoon time a day, you know, socializing as much and wonderful it is and connecting with others. Maybe on that day, for some reason, it's a 4 or 5 spoon. And so this is a great way for you if you're dealing with any kind of chronic pain to maybe take out, if you're dealing with somebody that doesn't quite understand what chronic pain is. Go find spoons in your house. This lady was at a restaurant. She gathered as many spoons as she could, and you put the spoons down and you say, okay, this many spoons for this many spoons for this. I don't take kids to school, so that wouldn't be a 4 spoon for me. But going grocery shopping can be a 4 spoon kind of day. I'm exhausted by the time I get done. Usually my mother's coming with me because I need help. So it depends on your circumstances in life to say what spoon and how many spoons do you have that can add up to that. And so I thought this was very interesting. It's actually something I'm starting to put into my life now and thinking, how many spoons do I have today? in that related kind of thing. And I think that it's really becoming very helpful because I'm realizing the importance of going, am I extending myself too much? Am I overdoing it? Did I have run out of my spoons for today? How much spoons is going to take for to do this activity? And it is becoming helpful. With that being said, I happen to go through the Facebook things and they scroll and they do ads and stuff. Well, there was this one lady, and I did put the link in the video. If you would just go ahead and comment, maybe make a comment for that, it would bring they would probably send out more notifications to people. But the um the she does a lot of freezer meals, and one thing that I really liked about the way that you go to her link and schedule for a class, and you go in there, she has a pre-recorded class, and you go in there, and she gives you something. Of course, she's trying to sell something, of course. However, the website that she has is filled with about over 2,000 different recipes, and one thing that I really liked is all of them have Weight Watcher points on them. She has a lot of freezer meal recipes, which I thought, well, I usually go to Sam's Club and I buy everything in bulk and I freeze it. But I'm like, this is something my mom and I discussed it. And she's like, Mary, if you want, and for me, it was like $80 because she was running a special, but it's lifetime. And I can have Christina access it too as well. And, you go in there and you pick the recipes you like, and then you put them into your list. And then it even creates a shopping list for you so you know what you're going to go shop for. And I thought, I need this in my life. So on Friday, we're going to talk about, and you don't have to join her program or whatever. And I don't feel like I could go in there and unload enough your recipes and then share them because that's not right either. So I won't be doing that. But I wanted to share the website with you of those people that really felt like that was something that they needed, about going ahead and pre-putting, like, if you get chicken, going ahead and get chicken. She had bags out, and why I'm saying this in this sense is she had those bags, and I'm gonna get them with the stands, and she got chicken breasts, and she put enough to fill 12 bags, Ziploc bags. Of course, she uses reusable bags. 12 bags in the Ziploc bags, and then she put olive oil in all 12 bags. This was one of the things that she showed one of the videos. And then she only took every bag had 3 spices, whether it was garlic chicken, lemon, uh, different kind of spices, whatever you like. Maybe it was paprika and oregano and whatever, orange chicken, whatever. She didn't use the juice because she said sometimes the one with the citrus stuff can make the meat tough, but she used the zest of the lemon or the zest of the orange. And then she took the 12 bags, and she says she just rolls them up. So she ziplocked the bag up, rolls it up to get as much air out, and she said she sticks it in her freezer. What does that mean? That means when it's time for dinner, she said, and she did that with all of her meat. She did it with turkey, because I always thought you had to cook that stuff before you put it in the crock pot. And I do have an Instant Pot too. For turkey, my husband can't have beef, so we don't have a lot of beef. Turkey, she did it with even chicken breasts. She breaded the chicken breast and then put them in saran wrap and put them in a Ziploc bag to freeze them. She did it with, turkey, she did it with the beef, she did it with everything raw, and then she said, "You just take this right out of the freezer, you dump it in the crock pot." Now, if it was me, just because I don't think I would put it straight in the crock pot frozen, because it may take a while for that, especially if you're dealing with meat, for it to unthaw, and then for it to be out maybe for 2 hours before it started heating up. I would take it out of the freezer the night before, put it in the refrigerator, and even if it was a little frozen, still it'd be fine, and then take it in the morning and put it in the crock pot. But my mom said to me, she said, "Go ahead and do it." And then the website has it so that you can take it, find the meals, it makes a grocery list already for you, and you check off the stuff you already have at home, and you go to the grocery store. Why am I saying all this? Because I really think that we need to have a discussion on planning for success. And I thought, am I really planning for success? I'm going to shop very differently next month than I've shopped in a long time. I'm gonna be paying attention to a lot of zero stuff food from, Weight Watchers. I'm gonna I am not gonna get those those Japani yogurts. I like the Yoplait yogurt things that come. I'm not getting them because 'cause they're too many points. So I'm gonna be shopping very different. I'm gonna get a lot of cottage cheese and a lot of plain yogurt. Today I went to the store and I got skim milk. I didn't get 2% milk because I don't wanna drink the 2%. The 0% is 0 points. The point of it is if we don't plan for success, what happens? We get to the point where we're like sitting there going, "It's time for dinner." I took a think, Wednesday, I had to think about it. I had to take out a rotisserie chicken so I could put it in the refrigerator. It can unthaw and we could put it in the air fryer tonight for dinner. But I had to plan that. I had to plan to be successful. And if we're not planning to be successful, and we get to the point where we're like this and we're going, I screwed up today. Huh, what's the point? I'll just start down the road again. No, I'm not starting down the road again. I know that I'm going to get to stages in my life, hi Lydia, where I am going to sit there through this whole journey and I'm going to mess up. I know that when my aunt leaves, it's going to be really, really hard. It's gonna be hard to say that hug to her. It's gonna be hard to say goodbye to her in this circumstance because you know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be hard. And I know the temptation is going to be there to sit there and say, "Yeah, let me reach for this," because 'cause it'll numb it for a few minutes. It won't numb it forever. I'm going to have to deal with it. I know when the phone call comes, maybe next year sometime, maybe even at the end of this year. I don't know. When that phone call comes that says she's no longer here, I know it's gonna be hard, but I've got to stay within all those connection points that I've taken this, this since 2020 2023 to really make and foster. I built those connection points 4 times like this, and I need to reach out to them. I need to make sure that I'm reaching out to them, make sure that they're happening. And so we have to decide. Hi, Jason P. Give Crafty a huge hug. I felt so bad. I'm like, I'm sitting there as we were in Miss Dragon's chat going, Mary. And went through to check on dinner and I was like, you didn't ask Jason about Crafty. Get back in there and ask him about Crafty. But when I was in when Miss Dragon's chat this afternoon, I literally was typing and crying at the same time. So I couldn't I I I thought about it after. I did put it in the chat, but by then she'd ended her live. I said, "Jason, I'm sorry. So thank you for understanding. I appreciate it. But give Crafty a big hug and healing for us." Um, yeah, I get that, Lydia, and that's fine. Um, that's fine that you drink the 2%. I just decided that I love 2% milk, but I want to have some kind of milk, and I can either have 2%, it can be calorie wise, or I can have 0% and it be 0 points. So if I want a glass of milk before I go to bed or sometime in the afternoon, if I feel like that glass of milk, and I'm just gonna do I'm gonna do the skim milk for a while. And I can get some 2% and enjoy that, but it's making those decisions that say, where do I want to put my points at? Um, but we're going to talk on Friday about how to plan for success because my mother and I started saying, we need to do some of those meals this lady was talking about um, because we need to make sure that we're planning for success. And if if when you're dealing with a chronic illness, you have to have this stuff in plan. It may take me and my mom some time to put these together in a freezer meal, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be a lot better than sitting there at 5 o'clock going, "What's for dinner?" And then I'm too tired to put anything together. We have to plan for it. Enough's enough. We can't keep going the way we're going. Enough's enough of that. We've got to do better. And so this is where you have to sit there and go, I can do better. And if it means that room raid, thank you, Ben Bacon Bits. Awesome. Thank you so much. If it's if it is if it makes you if it helps you feel better, if you're doing better by making sure that you're preparing for for you to be able to um you know for you to be able to be successful, then you've got to plan for it. And what in your life have you are you saying to yourself, enough's enough? I can't keep doing this anymore. I can't keep, this isn't working. This is the I hate to use the term, but we've all heard it. Doing the same thing, accepting the same result over and over again is a definition of insanity. I can keep trying the way I've been trying to do things for the past 2 years. The scale has not gone up. It's gone or the scale hasn't gone down, it's gone up. It's not working. This isn't working. Going to the grocery store when I'm hungry or going to the grocery store when I'm emotionally struggling is not a smart idea. It's foolish. I avoid the ice cream aisle like the plague. Or if I'm going by the Swiss cake rolls, which are usually on the end caps, right? I Sunrise Dawn, usually on the end caps, right? I have to really don't look at them, Mary. You don't need them. I have a battle going on in my head for 5 minutes. And if they're in the house, oh my goodness, they're calling my name all day long. They're not in this house for a very good reason. But you have to get to the point to say to yourself, when is enough enough? Can we before we get to this here point, can we figure out how we can say it's getting there? Can we stop it? I know that if I hadn't done something on last week on Monday, it would have been like I'm 280.8, and believe me, announcing it to the whole world to hear is not fun, but I'm going to do it because it's not the weight on the scale that makes me who I am. It's me. But I know that if that scale had gotten to 280 I just said, "What the heck? Does it really matter what I weigh?" It would have been a heck of a lot easier to just let the pounds just keep gaining on because who cares? I knew that. I knew that 281 was like looking at 300. I knew I couldn't go down there. And Ben Bacon Bits, if you haven't checked him out, Jason, can you pop his channel in for me? I hear you. My weakness is for potatoes. I'm part Irish, so at least it's honest, but I can't have them in my house. Absolutely. You know, I I love the mashed potatoes from from Sam's Club. They're already pre-done and they're wonderful potatoes. And um I put a cup in on my plate this evening because I had the points for it, and I thought, "Oh, these are only 7 points for a cup." Well, I misjudged. It's actually 14 points for a cup of potatoes. It's 7 points for a half a cup. So next time I'm only gonna have a half a cup, but I had squash, and I had green beans, and I had a roasted chicken. I was like I had a chicken leg, which was 4 points, but I went into my bone my little, like, I don't call 'em bonus points, but my buffer points, right? But my point of it is that I didn't go to the store today and pick up that gallon of ice cream or that the Swiss cake rolls to deal with the fact that, you know, of everything that's going on. And Um, you know, okay, well, stay safe, Lydia, please. Um, I didn't do that because I have decided for myself that is enough of going to food for comfort because it doesn't work. It doesn't solve anything. It doesn't help anything. It doesn't change anything. It's not going to change the fact that my aunt has maybe a year here, if less than that. That when she comes in August, through that week, that what time we have, that precious time that we have been blessed with from for her is what we have left. And when she leaves, it's not going to change. That when I give her that hug before she gets on that plane, that's it. The next time I'll see her is when I go to heaven. And I can say to her, "You know what? When you see dad and you see grandma, give them a big hug for me." That's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. I I I I I I kind of do not know how to prepare myself. My mom even is struggling with it. She says, "I want to see her, but I hope we don't spend the entire time crying when we see her." This should not be a time of crying. This should be a time of blessings. And if I don't work through the emotions that have been put in front of me, if I go and cover them up the old-fashioned way that doesn't work, what's going to happen when she comes? I haven't dealt with them. Do I want to deal with them? Not really. They're not very much fun to deal with. But high glow bees, but they're what I need to do. So what in your life are you going to start looking at and saying, "You know what? Enough's enough of doing that." My husband's like, "You know what? Enough is enough of us saying we're going to go in the pool." And then, you know, we get up, and then before you know it, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Before you know it, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And next thing you know, it's like, yes, yes, it is. It's helpful. Believe me, it is so helpful, Don. And then before you know it, it's 10 o'clock. And, well, the pool didn't happen today. And I know that my husband, who's is disabled himself as well, will needs to get moving, but he moves best and gets moving in the pool. And I said to him today, I said, "I get busy with the crochet, and then I kind of get sidetracked, and I get busy with other things, and I get sidetracked. I need your help." When we've gotten to a point when enough's enough, we need to reach out for help. That's why that saying that I'm so glad, and that was on, and somebody said it today, I think it was Sharon, if I'm not mistaken. She talked about the disco balls, right? Jason P's favorite saying, and one that I have grown to so glad that I found it for everybody. But it's so true. A disco ball is hundreds of pieces of broken glass put together to make a magical ball of light. You ain't broken, you're a disco ball, right? We love that saying. That's why when I was creating the group to have peer support and accountability for those wanting to eat healthier and going in the battle of weight loss, I wanted to do a group that said somewhere, somehow, the the blood, using the disco balls, and making them so that we were the disco balls. And I think it was, I forgot who said it. Oh my goodness, maybe it was Crafty Witch. I cannot remember who said it. That talked about naming the group on Facebook, and I did put the post in the oh goodness, I did put the post, and I'll put the link to the Facebook group. I did put the link in, or the group in, the lifeboat, but that's why we called it the Blessed Disco Ball Warriors, because I thought I want people to remember that we're all broken. None of us have it all together. None of us, right? IACE. I None of us have it all together. But if we all do it together, we can do this. there's a sense of accountability of whether you're dealing with drugs or alcohol or whatever drug you're just deciding to deal with, or not deal with, but are addicted to. But and I'm not trying to say that they're any less important than food. They're all a struggle. They have their own little struggle and issues. But people that are addicted to food have to go to the grocery store and be surrounded by food all the time. You know, I mean, it's there. And so it when you go by the end cap about 10 times, right? And you see the fact that there, um, you see the Swiss rolls and you're sitting there going, I've seen these about 10 times. You're having to fight that in a different way than you're having to find alcohol and drugs. And alcohol is there at the store too. I get it. But there's a different level. There's just different things that go on with food addiction as there is different things that go on with alcoholism and different things that go on with drugs. And I don't think that if you're trying to do anything when it comes to an addiction, I don't think you could do it without support. You need peer support. But, if you haven't gone down the path of having to deal with any kind of addiction, those that are dealing with drug and alcohol addiction knows what it's like. It's calling their name, right? And people are like, well, just don't eat it. Well, that's a lot easier said than done if that's your way that you comfort yourself and you've done it for years. Yeah, don't eat it. Don't bring it in the house. Well, I try not to, but every once in a while, I'm going to have to be really careful when my aunt leaves the house or leaves to go back home in the middle of August. Because it's going to be real easy to say, man alive, I don't want to go. I want to go to that store and pick up that ice cream. I don't want to feel this right now. When somebody you never know when somebody's leaving this world. That's the truth. You don't. We're never promised tomorrow. We're never promised the next second in this life. But this is very different, honestly. In this sense, it's different because there's you don't know when the ball is dropping to some degree. I don't want her to suffer in any way, shape, or form, but I'm not ready to say goodbye. And I've said that more times between yesterday and today than I want to even shake a stick at. And it's very true. I'm not ready to say that goodbye. And the other part of this whole puzzle becomes, and something that I've really not talked about too much on the webs, because I wanted to be respectful in how I did it, and I'm going to try to be. But there's another family member involved in this, which is another relative, um, that has decided to just stop talking to all of us because apparently I was sent back in December a very, very harsh and ugly text. And I'm not going to go into that, but when if this person just chooses to stay away and not come back, I'm losing two aunts at once. Where we could be here to kind of help the one who's losing her sister, to be here to uplift and love and just be there for her. She wants to get on the phone and cry, and vice versa. We don't have that. That's been taken away. And that's been the other piece of this puzzle that has made this absolutely so maddening. And it made it really, really difficult to say the least. And there's no resolution to that, unfortunately, at this point, and I don't know if there ever will be. So my mother's side of the family and my dad's side of the family is about is the side I have probably about that I we talk with maybe about 5 to 10 people left. That's it. My husband's side of the family is huge. My side of the family is really, really tiny. So, anybody, of course, when you lose anybody in your family, it's hard and it's difficult. But this whole thing makes it even more difficult because because I feel like I've lost I'm losing the one to cancer and I'm losing the other one to holding grudges and not wanting to work whatever it is out, and it's not worth it. And I feel so sad for my aunt that's dealing with the cancer to know that her when she leaves this world, hopefully we'll come back together again. But that's not on me, that's on the other person. And I've apologized. It was nothing worth just kind of saying I don't want anything to do with you anymore. It wasn't worth any of that. Believe me, this was something that could have been worked out and it was just taken to a whole new level. And it was not only done to me, it was done to my mother, it was done to my daughter. It was a whole mess. Um and uh you know that my aunt that's passing of cancer um leaves this world knowing her family's not is fractioned. And to me that's just I can't make sense of it. I can't do anything about it. It's totally out of my control. But I just think I don't know if there's words for me to be able to say what I think of a rotten thing to do is. And yet if the person called us on the phone, we'd answer. Uh we tell her we love her and we care about her and I pray for her every day. There's nothing else I can do. It is a person that showed me crochet, so that makes it hard, but I wasn't gonna let that steal my passion for it. Um, but you know, uh, it's like losing two aunts at once almost to some degree, and it's that makes the situation even worse than I really want it to be made, and it didn't need to be. That's the grips of it. My husband once weighed That's okay, Miss Dawn. My husband once weighed 360, he is down 135. He is 5'4", so that is okay. Wait for him. Keeping the weight off takes effort from both of us. I need to be supported by cooking healthy stuff. Absolutely, Sandy. Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I chose to pay for access to that website from this lady, and it was like $75 one time, is because I thought I have got to um I've got to figure out a way to thank you, Dawn. I have to figure out a way to prepare meals. And we can talk about that. That's one of the things I want to talk about on Friday is success. If we're going to be successful in anything, we got to plan whether it's preparing meals so you can eat healthy, whether it's preparing your day so that you can be productive. Maybe it's journaling, whatever it is, you have to plan for it um, to be successful, whatever it is that you're kind of struggling with. And I did again. If you go to that live, just give a thumbs up and a comment. It'll just help them before the live. Maybe shout out the algorithm or whatever you, what have you. I did put her website in there if anybody was interested in going to that. I'm going to explore it some more and see what I think of it and let you all know. But I love the idea. And even for my daughter, I said, I think this would be great. I said, I'll give you the password. You can go into it, look at it, and get the recipes. And then that way, you can maybe start preparing some healthier meals. And if you go through and you can check things and recipes you like and get a, a, a grocery list, boy, that makes it wonderful. So how are we going to plan for that? So to me, right now in my life, enough is enough has really kind of been a little bit of a motivation to do what I know needs to get done. Even dealing with all this upheaval with my aunt and her cancer and all of that's going on, and dealing with fibromyalgia, which all the stress of dealing with chronic diagnosis, chronic illness, and stress only ups your pain and ups your exhaustion and limits. Again, I'll put the spoon theory on if anybody hasn't seen it. Um, Ups the amount of spoons it takes me sometimes to do the very activity that may, you know, uh, uh, it may take me 3 spoons to go take a shower versus 2 because I'm tired. It may take me, um, you know, th- uh, you know, whatever. It may take me more spoons than normal to deal with whatever those are because I'm already overwhelmed and tired and exhausted. So, I think that's a really good way to maybe determine in your life if you're dealing with a chronic illness. How many spoons do I have today? How many spoons? Maybe start putting down activities that you do on a regular basis in your day and deciding maybe how many spoons you have. Maybe you settle on 12, maybe you have 16 spoons, whatever it is. And start saying, you know what, it's going to take me 1 spoon to do this and this, and do an average. Kind of like, well, it usually takes me 1 spoon to take my pills, maybe 1 spoon to do this, maybe 2 spoons to do this. And then on a day when you're really struggling, you can say, you know what, this whole thing about maybe paying my bills is a 3 spooner today. It's not a 2 spoon, it's a 3 spoon. And you know what? If that's a 3 spoon, then my normal, uh, you know, maybe taking out the trash is a 2 spoon activity, but maybe cleaning for you is a 4 spoon activity. So, you know what? If I'm doing paying the bills today is a 3 spoon activity, you know what? I'm not going to do a bunch of cleaning today because it's too many spoons. Maybe I need to pick something in my 3 spoon list that I can choose from, or something in my 2 spoon list. Or maybe I need to make sure that somewhere in the day I'm resting or I'm taking a nap or something so I have the energy to do it. But I thought that was just a great way to really help other people understand when you're going, well, you should just be able to do that. I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't know if you can see it, but sometimes we have cut losses from yuck. I have had that with certain family members who determ- detrimental to me and my well-being in this unfortunate but reality I had to accept it in this world. Yes, Jason P. When Crafty was sick, my family was indefinite, didn't check in. I was just me and her. It was eye opening and made me realize blood family means nothing. I feel like I have more family here, especially on the YouTubes. I get it. I get it. Mary, I will send you the biggest hugs and all the ones. Thank you. Yeah, I get it. I get that, Jason P. That family can be thicker than, or friends, and I have a bunch of brothers and sisters through the YouTubes and through the boat. I'm so, so, so grateful for them. But, with that being said, I get that. But up until December of last year, this person has we've had our differences and our struggles, but we've okay, well, thank you, Don. We've had our struggles and our differences. However, we have gotten through them. And you know, we differ on political and religious values, but we've gotten through them. So it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't. This was so out of the blue. Um, because at one point the person was talking to me about crocheting hats for my aunt, and the next point I was just blasted with this text message that was very hurtful. And person has a right to feel the way she did and does. But it didn't need to end like this. And my other aunt, when we talked to her, she just says, "I'm so sorry." This to me was a time when we all should have pulled together, and it is what it is. I can't do anything about it. I've put off writing a letter for the past year, um, since December, because I thought I don't want to do this, but I won't make myself do it. I finally said, no, again, there we go again. Enough's enough, Mary. You've talked about this letter since December, and you've got to get it done, because I also feel like when this letter goes out, it is my goodbye to that person. I need to say it. I need to say whatever I need to say. The letter needs to get mailed. I have some yarn that has wool in it that I cannot touch and use. I want to send it with a thank you note for all that the person has done, and say what I need to say what was taken away from me to be able to say, do my emotional goodbye, and just walk away. And if the person doesn't come back, then that's out of my control. The only thing that I can say through the entire thing is I'm really, gosh darn it, my dad isn't here to see it, because he would be so hurtful. And the person wouldn't be doing this if my dad was still here. He wouldn't, she wouldn't, the person wouldn't be doing it. I am processing of adopting friends as family members. My bio family has been hurtful. That this is why it works better. You do what you need to do, and I agree. And I'm thankful that my husband's family is very supportive, and I love them all. And I have just a very little tiny family on the other. I consider Tommy a brother, and you a brother, Jason, and Sandy a sister, and I got sisters and brothers all over the place now. And those are the connection points, and I'm so grateful for them. And I don't know if Jason, if you want to message, if you go into the link I put up for the disco balls, I don't know if you and Crafty have Facebook or not, but if you go in there, um, into the disco ball group, then we can become friends on Facebook. But I didn't know if you and Crafty had Facebook or not. And you don't have to put that information here. I don't want you to do that. But um, if you want to, if you want to go in there, um, go for it. If you don't have Facebook, that's fine. But I just thought I'd ask. Um, but you know, okay. Well, she does. Okay. Well, have her look for the blessed. If she can't find it, go into the Lifeboat Facebook group and find the blessed disco balls. And I'm going to be making disco ball keychains. Um, I'm going to use this sparkly kind of yarn that I use for just the blessed to crochet cupcake. And I'm going to um, make little disco balls. I even ordered the little keychains. And then another thing that I made was these, right? Well, these don't look like much right now, but we use them because I don't want to bend down 5,000 times for a towel, and that's what we ended up doing. And I ordered those little round acrylic craft rings, and I'm going to use these because I'm doing a craft show with my mom in November, and so I need to get some things so that it becomes a towel, to hook your towels on. But this one that I designed is so much sturdier than the one that I have going on in our kitchen. It is so much sturdier. And so that cool. So I'm going to use my scrap yarn and make a bunch, and then I'll put them too on the fourth wall store if anybody interested in them. And then I'm challenging myself a little bit. I mean, I'll put the disco ball keychains on there too. But I'm working really diligently. I've got this temperature blanket that I'll never do a temperature blanket commission one again. I'm working really hard to get this temperature blanket. I was 3 rows away from not needing this color anymore. And do you believe me? I had to go out and get the color, and they almost didn't have it. I was, oh, thank God. I'm really working. I'm in the middle of April. I have May, June, and July, and I'm trying really hard to get done with the temperature blanket before my aunt comes, because now the person I'm doing it, their anniversary is done. They've reached their 1 year, and I want to get it done and off in the mail to the lady. Been so sweet, and get her temperature blanket and move on to some other projects. So um, get ready for this craft show. So I'm not allowing myself to do anything. I'd like to do a disco ball, and I probably will throw one together real quick, but I don't want to do much more because I know what I need to focus on, which is getting that blanket done. And I don't want to wait till my aunt comes and then I won't work on much of anything like that while she's here, and then it's gonna be into September. And again, here we go. Enough's enough. Wait, Mary. You gotta get it done. Sometimes I think if we can use that enough's enough to not mean I've had it up to here, but instead change it to a positive. Enough's enough. How can we use this to motivate ourselves? We can use it either for negative or positive. Anything can be used for negative or positive. It's like, that the fact that my aunt's coming up here is a blessing. It's going to be hard, but kind of what's going on with the other side of that coin with my other aunt is negative. Anything can have its negative and positive. We can say to ourselves, listen, enough's enough, right? And so if you look at it from how can we use it for positive versus negative? You can sit there and say, I've had enough up to here. I'm done. I'm done. Or we can say, I've had enough's enough. Now, how can I use that for good? How can I use that so that I'm using that in a positive manner? Like what's happening right now with me and I just keep going to the weight loss because it's the easiest thing to connect it with. No. And I thought Brazy Girl was so good because she was in Miss Dragon's Live and she goes, Mary, you've lost 3 pounds, which now it's 4.4 pounds. And she said, you don't want to backtrack. She said, what is going to get a gallon of ice cream going to do? It's going to put those 3 pounds right back on you. Yep, you're right, Brazy. Enough's enough. So it can turn into a motivator if we use it the right way instead of using it when we've reached our breaking point. We've said, okay, we've reached our breaking point. I know we get sometimes where we've had people and they're arguing right now, arguing back and forth, and we say, enough's enough. Have that. But I'm talking not so much in that kind of sense about people maybe having conflict and arguing back and forth. I'm talking about when you get to the point in your life when you're going, enough of this. I've got to do it differently. I've got to do it this way. This isn't working, right? Enough's enough on procrastinating with this. I need to do this. It's like I could procrastinate all day long in that blanket. It is due to send to her for a Christmas present. Before you know it, we're going to be sitting in December. It's August already. So if I keep putting that blanket off because I'm thinking, oh, well, I'm in the middle of August. It won't take me that long to do July. Mary, before you know it, you're going to be rushing your little crochet fingers like nuts to get that blanket done to send to that lady for a Christmas present. I don't want to be there. Enough's enough. Whether you want to work on and unfortunately yesterday I ran out of yarn, so I couldn't. I was the next color I couldn't, and I chose yesterday to work on a different project. I have to whether the thing is I want to put that away for a while and not touch it. I want to go to another project. Mary, you can't. You've got to stay with this one. Whether you like it or not, you got to stay with this one. Enough's enough. You can't because before you know it, Christmas bells are going to be ringing, and you're going to be, oh my goodness gracious, I've got 3.5 months left to go. And when you're doing one single row of crochet, it can be a little bit, it doesn't think like it takes a long time, but it does. Yep, I know. I, but it is true. It is so true. Procrastination is. But I think if we say to ourselves in different ways to say, you know what, enough's enough. Are you going to get to the point where you're going to go, I'm not fooling around with this anymore? What about your emotions? We've all remember, and I'll pull it up. And by the way, Jason, I'm starting to put Mocha on every day that I get an update for our hours. I'm going to start putting little things up, little pictures of her up, because I put it up today, and she had this cute little face on. To say what? We're only 540 hours away watch time from 3,000. So anybody wants to help with any of that stuff, go right ahead. Remember what we've talked about it before on the boat. Enough is enough also comes to us. Yeah, we love 'em. Oh, I thought I'm going to start putting really cute pictures on her on the community post throughout the day, and making sure that I put where we're at hours wise, so people realize we're so close. Um, allow yourself to say to yourself, you know what, enough's enough. When I agree, I picked it because it was a pink Cadillac, Elvis, right? Enough's enough when you're getting with your emotions. I had to go fix dinner. I just say, Mary, enough's enough. You've been crying on and off since yesterday, and there's nothing wrong with crying. You need to cry. You need to get it out. You need to deal with those emotions. But you need to focus and get in focus. You need to have your dinner. You need to eat. You've got to do a live. You've got to connect tonight. And so, you know what? It's time to put these emotions in the trunk. We need to say to ourselves when we are emotionally had it, we're done with whatever it is going on, giving ourselves permission to get that our keys to whatever car you want to do. If you want to have a car for all different kind of situations, go have a fleet of them. Who cares? It's in your head. I don't care what it is. I have a car right now that's specifically a patty car. And I'm done, when I've had it emotionally with I'm dealing with grief, whether I want to put it, I am dealing with grief, sadness, anger, don't understand why this happened, loss, all of those things. When I'm done with what I can handle for today, I have got to get Patty's car out. And I think if it was anything, it would be probably a Volkswagen because she was a surfer for years. She actually won. I used to go in her house when she was very young, and she would have trophies all over the place. And surfing trophies she won, um, all over the place. So it would be something where you could put a surfboard on top, some kind of car. But anyway, I'm gonna get Patty's car, and I'm gonna go get those keys, and I'm gonna flip open the trunk, and I'm gonna put those emotions in the trunk, and I'm gonna lock it up and walk away. I'll go back to it when I can handle it. Now, to some degree, with this situation, and I've kind of done that on and off with um, my other aunts. The other situation that's going on with my other aunt, I've kind of had to say, okay, you're going in the trunk for that situation, and I'll lock you up and deal with you later. With this situation going on with my aunt Patty, I I'm having to unlock that trunk more than I want to. But I'm also giving myself permission when I'm done for the day to lock it up like I had to do last night on Pup Groomers Live and say, I'm going in the chat. I'm going to lurk. I just need someone talking to me because I've got to take all of those emotions. And I was crying while I was doing it. All of those emotions and all of the tears, put them in the patty car with the trunk, lock them up, and go to sleep. My body needs rest. I'm tired. I'm hurting. So with this situation, it's difficult because there's times where I'm having to unlock that trunk and open it when I'm really too tired to deal with it because of certain situations that are coming up and her trip coming up and dealing with, reaching out to Cricket and getting the airline tickets on and all that kind of stuff. So, there are some times when you have your emotions and you have to open the trunk. If you're too tired, you need to make sure you're dealing it and have plenty of support around you. to sit there and say, "Listen, we're thinking of you. You're not alone. If you need to call somebody and ugly cry on the phone." I know people that I have their numbers. I know that they would take a phone call from me and say, I just need to cry." My daughter called me at 6:30. It was why was a little late. She goes, "Mom, I just need to talk for a few minutes." So I was like, "Okay, if you need to talk," and because she's losing her aunt too, her great aunt she was connected with. If I need to postpone my life till tomorrow, that's what's happening. And she only talked for about 10 minutes, but she comes first. So we need to give ourselves permission to unlock that trunk and place it in. Now, I'm expecting to get in contact with Cricket at some point tonight, possibly. So that trunk may need to get open. But when I get off of here, guess what? I'm going to go get ready for bed. I'm going to take all the emotions because I'm tired, and they're going in the patty cart. Or I have to go there and get the keys and open them again. And so when you are emotionally had it, it's okay to say, they're going in the trunk for a while, right? I'm going to pull them out when I can deal with them. Sometimes we have to deal with them when we're not emotionally strong. But that's why connection and support is so important. I heard it over and over again within the past 24 hours. Mary, you're not alone. We are all here for you. We know how difficult this is. Or you're not here by yourself. Reach out to any one of us, and we're going to be here, even if it's just to listen. You need to talk, get on, and you need to connect. Turn on your lighthouse. You've got it. You got the keys to it. Turn it on, and we'll all come in, and we'll all be here to support you. And it's not what we tend to do. People, especially dealing with chronic pain, will isolate themselves. And to some degree, you sit there in the back of your head thinking, who wants to hear me talk about my aunt again? Who wants to see me cry again? Who cares? You all don't know her. And that's the wrong thing to even think. That's the wrong message to put in your head. The answer is, yeah, you don't know my aunt, but you know me. And you care enough that you know and you can see that this is painful. This hurts. This is tough. This whole situation from start to finish has been really hard, and there's people in this situation that has made it harder, and it didn't need to be that way. You know, I have 6 precious nieces and nephews. There is nothing in this world that would ever they could ever do or say to me that is ever gonna let me ever not be there for them, or that will make me stop talking to them. There's nothing, nothing. It wouldn't happen. Tell you that right now. And I see my little niece, my oldest niece, and she'll look at me now every time. And I've seen her a couple of times since we've left Cincinnati, and I just look at her and I say to her, I said, "I love you." She goes, "I know." And she said, "I know what you're going to say, Aunt Mary." And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to say it again. You've got my phone number. You've got that little app on your phone for the kids. Do you know who you can call day or night? All right. Bye, brother." Please give Crafty our best and a hug. Please let her rest. I hope she does well. But I have said to her, you know what? Um, you can text your aunt. You can call me anytime. I'm here for you. Anytime, day or night. I don't care when it is. And she goes, I know. I know, Aunt Mary. I know. And but I tell her whether she wants to hear it or not. I tell her every time, and she'll sit there going, I know what you're going to say. And I said, I don't care. I want you to hear it again. I want you to hear that I'm here for you. And she says, I know. And she goes, I love you. And I said, oh, I love you bunches. How important is that? how important it is that we are here to support each other and be here for each other when we need it. I don't think we realize how important when we're in the mix in the situation, but we need to be reminded. When we see someone here in the chat, or we need to see somebody over the lifeboat, or any of the other ripples shows that we go on to, and we see somebody struggling, we need to reach out to them. We need to say, we're here. You're not by yourself. You're not alone. Nobody needs to suffer in silence. Nobody needs to do it. I am so grateful because I think everybody's going to tell me. I'm waiting for everybody to tell me, Mary, just be quiet. We don't know your aunt. And that's the opposite of what's happening. Guess what? We may not know your aunt, but we love you. And we can see you, our friend, hurting, a crew member, a sister and brother. We can see you hurting, and we're here because we can't imagine how painful this is. And everybody that I have told about the situation, and let me just really stress what a blessing. I just, in the mix of the whole thing, I've just said, oh God, thank you. I didn't even ask that we were going to see her again. I was expecting the opposite of that. What a blessing you have given our family. But I've heard everybody said enjoy the time, laugh, smile, have fun, relish it. I've even said to Christina, I said, it's her birthday's in September. I said, what about thinking about throwing like a little birthday party when Patty's here? And she goes, I think that's a great idea. I even thought about having a Thanksgiving dinner with my aunt. Let's put up the Christmas tree. I mean, we probably won't end up putting the Christmas tree, but I thought of that. Let's have Christmas, you know, do whatever you need to do. But they've said, this, have fun, but this is going to be tough. And everybody has said, do not fall away from the connections that you've built. This is going to be tough. We're all here for you. Don't fall away from the connection points you've established. That has been the ripple that has been not screamed, but literally told everywhere I'm going in this journey. I want us to start taking enough's enough and turning that into, instead of enough's enough under our breath, to enough's enough. Where can I use it in my life as a positive way? Because you can. Enough about procrastinating on doing this. Enough is enough about not eating healthy. Enough's enough but not about preparing your meals. Because I did seriously look on the tubes, and even, and there's tons and tons of Weight Watchers meals. There are tons, but I'm thinking I need to do more freezer meals. I've got to do more freezer meals. I've got to have them prepared. Because literally by the time dinner comes, I'm too tired. My spoons have already run out by then. I'm exhausted. I It's really easy for me to go prepare chicken tenders or chicken nuggets for my husband, but is that the best that I can throw his way? Probably not. I need to do better. And there's a bunch of meals, but I loved the way she did her website where I could go in and go, that looks good. I want to make this. I want to make this. And then putting a grocery list around that and preparing it, taking it right out of the refrigerator and literally putting it in the taking it out of the refrigerator the night before and putting it in the taking out of the freezer. We have one of those box freezer, the can't think of what they're called, the deep freeze in our garage. Taking one out of the deep freeze and bringing it in the house the night before and saying, we're going to have this for dinner. And then just throwing it in the crock pot, letting it cook all day, or throwing it in Instapot, frozen, if I really forget to take it out the night before. Excuse me, throwing it in the crock pot. And she's even gone to the step of being able to put you can, I have to look up freezer tape because any tape you do doesn't stick to any bags. She even pre-does the notes for you. So it tells you, put this in the crock pot, add 2 cups of chicken broth and cottage cheese. It tells you exactly what to do, and it gives you the notes to put onto the bag to label. I mean, I was like, "Okay, this is a $75 purchase, but man, that takes out me having to get the stuff to label. It takes out me having to have the directions. It takes me having to go to this website and pull this recipe and this recipe and this recipe and this and trying to put it all together. Is it worth it right now? Yes, because enough's enough of not being prepared enough to make sure that if I'm too tired to cook, which is a lot of the times lately, my mother does a lot of the cooking. If I'm too tired, I was like, can we start preparing meals so that I can go into the freezer the night before and pull something out, throw it in the crock pot in the morning, and we can have dinner later. Can we start doing that? I'm like, yeah. But that's I was so glad to find this as an avenue to go look, and I'm gonna get off the stream in a few minutes, and I'm gonna go to the website before we have um, our Thursday. Tomorrow or Friday session. Tomorrow, I'm going to. Is it the third? I don't even know what day it is. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a live topic Thursday. And the reason for that is I kind of did a live topic Tuesday yesterday. I'm going to do a live topic Thursday, and I'm going to do it on the importance of connection, the importance of sitting down and chatting and really not just kind of shooting the breeze. We've all done that right in our lives. And I have earrings, and I'm gonna be getting those other little discs that I'm gonna be doing the crochet, little stitch markers with. I have the earrings that I need to paint both sides white before I can do any kind of paint pour on them. And I thought it would be neat to do a topic Thursday on this is how you shoot the breeze. This is the importance of connection. Just sitting down and talking. And so we're going to do a live topic Thursday tomorrow, which will be longer than my normal 20 minutes. And then I am really planning on making sure that this weekend we are doing some recordings for Topic Thursday, um, Topic Topic Thursday, no, yeah, Topic Thursday, Devotion Tuesday, and then I have a new thing that we're going to be starting, and I'm going to do the recording on it for Saturday, which is taking the quote that drops on Monday in a short. Um, and if you all have the opportunity to go back and you haven't liked any of our shorts or some of our shorts, if you would go back and just like, and if you've commented on them, I greatly appreciate that. But going and liking and commenting all helps those shorts to be pushed out and the channel to be pushed out further. Um, and again, those that are here on the replay crew playing the replay, thank you so much. It means so much. Again, we're only like 540 hours away. So many people just like to watch our stuff. If you could just watch it. That's one of the reasons why those nature streams are on, is because there is they're there for the purposes of uh, giving you relaxation music, but it also helps with the watch hours on the other note. I was planning on doing another nature stream tonight, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to do it tomorrow, and I found this really relaxing. Just it's not any kind of nature, but it's just really kind of very very relaxing meditation. All right, Sandy, say hi to Rob for me. Um, uh, Meditation sounds that I was gonna put on. I'm just trying to find the correct nature background for it, and I thought it won't be necessarily any kind of nature's music, but it will or nature sounds, but it will be a very nice and relaxing just music just playing in the background for a while. So I'm gonna probably put that up on Thursday. I was planning to put it on up today, but I'm gonna be done after this. But I will come on tomorrow and again do our topic Thursday, kind of explain that a little bit live, and then also just take you out to the outside. Hopefully, it won't be too hot or rainy. We haven't had a lot of rain this year. And I need to paint those earrings white um, before I can actually paint pour, because I will show you the paint pour that I did on one, and I didn't paint the earrings white before I did it, and they're kind of dull. They're not they're not as vibrant as I want them to be. So um, I will take you outside tomorrow, and we'll just sit there and we'll paint those earrings and get them ready for the paint pour, and then maybe this weekend I can paint pour some of the earrings and show you how I do that, and um, that'll be fun too. So we'll be doing that on night. Sunday night, I'm going to do thunderstorms. I found a really, I think I found one that was pretty calm, because there's some thunderstorms and lightning that are just like I couldn't sleep through them, but people love them. That's wonderful. But I'm gonna do thunderstorms and lightning. Uh, thunderstorm for Sunday, and I'm gonna do tomorrow. It's just this really calming. It goes on for like 20 minutes, so it'll loop for you'll hear the same thing, but it'll loop. But I've got to find the right background for it, and I've got to search for it. So I'll search for that tonight. I'll put that up tomorrow. I've put up for the I'm thinking for the planning for success, so we can look at a lot of aspects. I'm going to really kind of be focusing a little bit, but it goes so far for planning for success, on really planning for meal prep. And we can talk about that. We can do some lives on meal prep, and maybe people have some ideas on how they meal prep, to make sure that they do it correctly. And then there eventually, when we get the channel to 1,000 subscribers, and we're only 190 away from that. When we get the thing to 1,000, we can do a Amazon storefront, and I can start putting some of the stuff like she was showing on this lady's website. She sells them too, but I would get them from Amazon. Um, these stands, so you could put the bags. You can use reusable bags or Ziploc bags, doesn't matter, gallon size. So you literally stand them up and they open, and you can just go dump, 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 dump with your ingredients and your meats and everything all in one, and then you just conceal them. Um, so I can start putting things like that on. I can start putting our glue that I love using for my crochet, other things that we like in an Amazon storefront, and then you guys can kind of see our favorite stuff. Um, I can do it through affiliate links through them. I have tried at one point, and I don't know what happened last time, but something happened with the whole affiliate program from Amazon. And I think I'd really like to wait till we're at 1,000 and then just be able to introduce the storefront to you all. And that way you can go and we can show some of the favorite things. So that's one of the goals too. But I think that um, definitely, we should talk about meal prepping, and especially when you're dealing with chronic illness, I think it's really important that you meal prep and you take some time to do it. And if you have a spouse or someone that can help you meal prep, that you have it in your arsenal, so that if freezer meals really help you, so that you can meal prep and then take them out and they can be all ready to go, and you can have freezer meals set up for 3 weeks, then it's wonderful. Do what you need to do to say, "What can I look at my life and say, I've had enough of that one." Use that expression instead of it being a frustrating expression and a frustrating saying. And sometimes there are things that you just want to throw your hands up and say, "Enough's enough." But let's change it when it comes to certain aspects of our lives, when we can look at it and say, are we going to take enough as enough and use it in a positive, use it as a way to motivate ourselves? And it doesn't mean that it's gonna work every time. It's not. I think that if we think that whatever we do is gonna work 100% of the time, it's not going to. Um, I know that in this journey of, my going down with this Weight Watchers thing, going down the journey, I'm gonna fall. It's like today we get to go to get our some of our over the counter benefits tomorrow, and I'm like, um, I have some of the yogurts left that are 7 points. Well, I'm gonna finish them up today. They're gonna get finished. I'm gonna go over my points today. And guess what? It's okay. I'm not I'm not at the store buying ice cream. But I've got literally 2 yogurts left. I'm gonna give the peach one and say, "Here, mom, you have this for breakfast tomorrow." I'm finishing up the last one and I'm done. I'm not buying them again. I'm gonna buy what's gonna leave me fuller longer. Um, but I know that I'm gonna mess up. I know I'm gonna make mistakes. But I think today, when I had to say to myself, "Mary, enough's enough," it kept me really by changing how we use that expression and that phrase. When we can say enough's enough, you know, when it comes to how we, um, how we decide, you know, it can be used in a positive way. It can help. I think it kept me away from the store today. I didn't have the funds to go get ice cream, but if I did, I think it kept me from going, Mary, enough's enough. Using food to comfort yourself is not the way to go. This is not going to work. This is not going to help. You know better. Hi, Jaden. You know better. You know what's going to help and what isn't. And this is not going to help. You enough's enough. And so if we can say, listen, there are times when you're going to throw up your hands and say, enough's enough. There's going to be times that we can use that expression to motivate ourselves in order to make sure that it can be a motivator, and it can be a motivator if it's used appropriate and used right. So I will be definitely be saying that saying tomorrow. All right. You know, and maybe I'll make a shirt up eventually that says enough's enough. Use it positively. Use it as a motivator or something, right? Um, I'll be using that saying tomorrow when my husband says, Mary, you wanted me to push you to go to the pool. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to the pool. Yeah, and I have to get up tomorrow and because it's beneficial to me, but it's more beneficial to my husband. And I know when I get out of the pool, I'm gonna feel better. Doesn't mean it's gonna take my pain away. I'm forever a fibromyalgia survivor and warrior. I will forever deal with it. I will forever most likely be unable to work. I will be disabled for the rest of my life, but I can still do things here and there. And if it helps him be better by going in the pool and moving around, and it's where he's comfortable walking, and it helps him lose some weight because he's walking in a place he can walk in the pool, then you know what? It's worth me getting up in the morning and going. I can come home and have a nap tomorrow afternoon, and I probably will. But I need to do what's best for I need to I need to go for him. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be thankful I went for him because it's going to help me. You know what I mean? Um, and you know, we all get discouraged in life. I know that I'm thankful for everyone that's here in the chat. Sometimes it can be discouraging when you go to other chats and they're flying and the chats are flying and you sit there going, I know people are there and it's just like, it'll get there. And I think that just like ourselves, we tend to look at ourselves and think we want to compare ourselves to somebody else. We can't. It'll all come in its own time. And there will be a time down the road with the chat. God willing, I'll be flying so fast that I'll miss things. So right now, I'm going to enjoy um, the chat where I can acknowledge everybody and I can say hello and I can see those messages that come up and enjoy every moment, of my journey. in our journey. Hi, Alfonso. Um, oh, I will be praying once for Alfonso. I will be praying. So sorry. I hope that nothing happens. I will certainly be praying that. I did see your merch store the other day. For those that don't know, Alfonso has a merch store up. So those that want to go check it out can go check it out. He's got some really cool stuff up in the merch store going on. So good job. But we need to um, use it as a motivator. I think that we 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 need to use it enough's enough as a motivator. It can be, and I think sometimes it can be, you know, when is your enough enough? Put it in the comments when the video gets done. If you're watching on the replay, hitting that like button when the live is over, when making comments and interacting in the comments in the chat or in the video after it's replayed helps the algorithm. It does make a huge difference to the content creator that is do their channel. It makes a huge difference. So put a comment in. What is going to be your enough is enough. Maybe it's weight loss. Maybe it's a relationship you're in that's just not healthy. Maybe it's a work environment that you need to, you know, um, confront in a positive way. Maybe it's deciding that, you've got to do some meal prepping and make sure that you're meal prepped, and maybe, just kind of flying by the seat of your pants when it comes to preparing dinner is not enough anymore. You've got to do that. Maybe it's, what, on a project you're working on, maybe it's like, what, enough's enough. I can't procrastinate on this anymore. You can use that in such a pause to turn you into a motivator instead of it being negative. Sometimes we can take things and difficulties and phrases and use them as a way of progressing things. I honestly believe that today I had to say to myself more than once, Mary, enough's enough. Because I'm telling you, ice cream was really calling my name. Nope, not going to solve anything. It's not going to do anything. You're not going that route anymore. Get in the chat and cry. And that's what I did. I went on Miss Dragons and I was typing and crying at one point. I said, I don't like this. I don't want to feel this anymore. I don't want to feel this hurts too bad. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I had to say, yes, but if you don't, you're going to stuff it and it's not going to work. Enough's enough. And you know what? If you don't think that you're enough, you are enough. God made you who you are supposed to be. 100%. He made you from top to bottom. He made you who you were supposed to be. He loves you. You are enough. You're not enough without Jesus, in the sense that if you don't, he is waiting for you to come to a saving knowledge of Jesus Christ, that he died on the cross for your sins. You are not enough in itself to say, Lord, I'm here in heaven. Okay. And he says, so I don't know you. You didn't accept my son. You're not enough to go there. But once you accept Jesus, you're enough to go there. But you are enough. You are exactly who God made you to be. And it's somewhat comforting as I'm talking with my aunt. She goes, I'm not scared to leave this world. I know exactly where I'm going. I'm going to my Heavenly Father. And she has accepted Jesus as her Savior. She knows where she's going. So if people sit there and tell you you're not enough, you are enough. You're enough When you feel like you can't go in front of Jesus because you're not enough, you're not good enough, you are enough to go to him just the way you are. He made you and he loves you and you are enough. And I don't think that in this world today we're told enough by people that we're enough and we're valuable and we're precious and we are enough and we're loved. And that's one thing that anytime I see my nieces and nephews, I tell them I love them. But my one, she's about 10 or 11 years old. I want her to make sure she knows. She knows her mama loves her and she knows her dad loves her and all that kind. I want her and her grandma and all her family. I want her to know that there's a lot of people that love you. There's a lot of people that are there for you. There's a lot of people that think you're valuable and precious. And this world would be the same without her. And if she needs someone and she feels she can't talk to her mom or whatever, for whatever reason, I never want her to feel like she doesn't have anybody she can't call and reach out to. She can reach out to her Aunt Mary, and I will be there at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't care what it is. You are enough. But sometimes we have to give ourselves a little kick in the tail end and say, okay, enough. Enough is enough of that. I think that comes down to when we want to beat ourselves up. I sit there and criticize ourselves. And if we mess up with whatever we're going through, if we've messed up with the situation we're going through, you have to say to yourself, now enough is enough of that. If your best friend is going to sit there, or a friend of yours, or family member is going to sit there and say, enough of that. Enough beating yourself up. You made a mistake. You can learn from it. Enough's enough of that. It can be used in a very different manner than sometimes I think it is used out there. And right now I'm trying to find ways to use that as a motivator for me. Mary, that's enough of that. You're not allowed to do that anymore. You're not allowed to beat yourself up anymore. And sometimes we need to tell our friends, enough is enough of that. You are enough. So let's be all there to support each other, to be a motivator, to be pure support, to be there to lean on when we need each other. That's what this channel has been designed for. Nobody suffers in silence. Um, I've kind of had to say that recently. We ended up doing a lot of our Bible verses and shorts to last till the end of the month. Now it's the July 31st. I have enough Bible verses and we do on in schedule to last to the end of the month. And I have almost enough jokes to last to the end of the month. My channel shout outs are ending. I've got enough channel shout outs until like the 6th of the month. I can tell you it was a huge weight off my shoulders this month when my mom and I scheduled all that, where I didn't have to think about it. They were just done. And I'm thinking, I need to start planning. Enough's enough of kind of not doing that and scheduling that, because I've seen this month how it is one thing that I have not had to worry about. And when you do a short, you can tag it to another video. And I'm like, no, if I don't have anything to tag it to at that point when I load it, it's okay. I'll tag it at one point. It may be a couple days later, but I will go back and tag it to another video. And if it doesn't happen the same day it's loaded, it's fine. But I said, okay, I need to, along with trying to do some pre-recording this weekend, so that there's enough devotion Tuesdays and topic Tuesdays to last till at least the end of this month because I know in the middle of July and hopefully to last even till the end of September. I need to do better at breaking away from my distraction, which is my crochet as much as I love it, making sure that I'm putting in days within my time and my energy level, and depending on how many spoons I have, or making sure that my mom sets aside time for her to get them done so that we can get them uploaded, scheduled. The Bible verses really don't take that long a time, but you have to sit there and find a song to same thing for the jokes and the same thing for the quotes. So I usually try to find the music. She just does the thing for it. But it I need to make sure that they're done so that those are all done all the way. I need to do shorts and jokes and quotes all the way to the end of the year because our focus is now on that 540 subscribe or 540 watch hours to get to that 3,000 mark. That's where we want to get. And I don't want to have to neither we don't want to have to worry about anything else, but focusing on making sure we're connecting with you all through lives. We're connecting through Lighthouse Monday, which we are going to get back to on Monday. I was trying to, I may not be able to get new stuff loaded in. I was trying to, but it may not happen. But connecting with Lighthouse Mondays, and maybe what we'll do on Lighthouse Mondays, maybe, is come on Lighthouse Mondays at 6 o'clock for an hour live. I'm kind of thinking of changing that a little bit. Coming out for an hour live and just chit chatting and getting the ball rolling live. And then, not all the time, but just sometimes. And then, um, having the rest of the time with just the chat open for people to talk. So maybe it would help to facilitate the chat happening, eh, more people coming in to maybe have that first hour live with somebody and then say, okay, we're going into Lighthouse Mondays and the chat will be open for the next 4 hours for you guys to hop in and chit chat and talk and stuff. I'm thinking about doing that. She will be here in the middle of the month, so Lighthouse Monday will not happen. But we will try to put some, maybe pre-recorded content up or something like that, um, and so forth. I do have, um, I did tell my story on My Other's Keeper, um, about my first marriage, and I may try to see if I can verbatim to the way Kim has it. She knew I was recording it, but I made it a private, and I told her I would uplift it or upload it at one point. But if I did it in a way that just kinda did my story and maybe did it so it wasn't identical to hers, because then it wouldn't be considered, what is it? Reused content. I can upload that while my aunt's here. If I can, and I don't know if I can. She may not wanna come on camera, but if she, uh, is wanting to talk to you all or even tell a little bit about her testimony, I was going to offer her if she wanted to do it. I know she's going to want to do it, but if she wants to, I want to give her the space because she's got quite a testimony. She probably won't want to, but um, maybe I can come live with her at one point. But I won't be on much. I can tell you that. I'm going to use every little bit I can to spend time with her. But I know for myself, I said, okay, enough's enough. This was such a nice thing to have all this scheduled, and the shorts have just been popping up as scheduled, and I need to do better at scheduling them earlier on in the day, and I just haven't. I'm going to change that time when they come up because I look and I go, they don't have it always related to a video, but it's okay if they're not related to a video. If they get put up, you can go back in there, Mary, and add it to a related video later, or just put it up to it. If you want to change the related video later, change the related video. Hi, Javen, because I was trying to make sure, like, if I had, it's okay, Javen. Um, you're just right on time. Um, if like I had Devotion Tuesday, I wanted to put it with the Bible verse and link them 2 together, but I haven't been able to do Devotion Tuesday steadily enough to kinda do that. So if I upload a short, for a Bible verse and, oh my goodness, I haven't seen that show in years, um, then I need to upload it and attach it to another thing, and if I get Devotion Tuesday up, then I can always change it later. But I'm gonna work this weekend on gonna work on getting Bible verses and thing, but I'm really focusing on that blanket. I am so focusing on getting that blanket done. You know what I've watched a series again? I could watch it again. I loved it. Loved it. Was The Young Riders. Love that. They did only 3 seasons of that show, and I love the theme song. I said to my husband, "I gotta get the theme song so I can put it with somebody's ringtone." But, I don't know whose ringtone I would put it with, but I gotta put it with somebody's ringtone. But, uh, anyway, but The Young Riders, is, a great it was only a 3-season show. That was all it was. But man alive, it was so good. It had, who was it? I can look it up. Who was in The Young Riders? I could watch the show again. It was so good. And Ben Bacon admits I don't think is any in here any longer, but I went on his channel today. Thank you for making a mod for me for that from on your channel. That really meant a lot. I was very thankful. I'm looking. Hold on a second. It was talked about the people that did the Pony Express, so it was a fictional one, but I loved it. Um, and Teaspoon in it was he made the show. He made the show. Trying to see if they can tell me exactly. I don't want that. When you try to look up stuff very easily, right? I want to do it. I don't know if I want that one up. I'm gonna figure it out, y'all. Yeah, I don't want that. I just want the. Here we go. TV guide. Thank you. Gives me. Um, the actors. Um, Rainwater was Buck. Anthony Zerber. I'm going to say that. Josh Brolin was Hickok. He played James Hickok. Um, Brett Colleen was one of the marshal. Was the marshal. Jesse James was Christopher Prudit. Stephen Baldwin was Cody. Um, Ty Miller was the kid. Noah was Don Franklin. Um, and Travis Fine was Ike. Melissa Liu was Emma. Claire Warner was Rachel. Yvonne Shaor was Lou. Don Kohler was William Tompkins. But it was really a tremendous show, and I can watch it. I can watch it. I watch it. I watched it again, and I can watch it again. Pony Express talks about it's a fictional on the Pony Express, but it's got horses and guns or pew pews. I shouldn't say the other word. I'm not monetized yet, but I think I'm far enough in here, right? Pew pews and old west kind of things, and it's just but Teaspoon is the one. Teaspoon is the one that makes that show. Without that show, forget it. But The Young Riders, I've been watching that. I've watched that all the way through again. I could watch it again. Benson is another one. I could watch the entire series 100,000 times. I never get tired of it. Never. Mr. Belvedere was another one of those shows, and you can't find that. The Hogan Family, I love that one. I wish they'd come back with some of these old shows because at least they were funny. Some of the shows say you just go, "Where's the funny in this?" I Love Lucy was another one. So all just wonderful. Let's see if my just wonderful, wonderful stuff, and they've gone away with some of it. And dang on it. So tomorrow, I'll try to come on and just we'll go outside and do Topic Thursday live, really focusing on connection, why connection is so important, and sometimes it's just sitting with a friend just to chit chatting, and we're going to use that as an example for Topic Thursday. And then Friday we have the discussion on planning for success. There's a lot of things in life that I think if we planned for and we were prepared in advance, we could be a lot more successful than just sit, kind of hitting by the seat of our pants, right? And then Saturday, I'm hoping to have the new series that we're going to be doing as we're doing our quote Monday. We're going to have a Saturday quote reflections, which we're going to take the quote of the week, which was, let me see if I can pull it up. Um, what was the quote of this week? I'm here. The quote of this week was, because there won't be another Monday because we've run into the thing, was on the Dolly Parton quote, which was, "If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one." Well, I think that we can take any quote, really, for the most part, and take that quote and turn it into looking at from a biblical perspective. So we'll take that quote, which is a very worldly quote, but we want to turn it in a way that you can look from it from a biblical perspective. So I'm trying to find quotes that I can do that with, and that we can look at them from the worldly perspective, but we can also look from them from a Christian perspective. So we're doing quote reflection Monday, um, or Saturday. So I'm going to try to upload that, and then I will get back to, of course, devotion Tuesdays and topic Thursdays too as well. Get those in the can, as they call them, right? And get them pre-recorded and everything. So I hope you enjoyed this. I really wanted to just kind of thing, and I think we can have this discussion again about, when is your enough enough? How can as I was kind of going through this, thinking we can change enough's enough to look from it from a positive perspective, and share this. If you're watching on the replay crew and you have a channel, put in your channel in the descript in the link in the thing afterwards. People can just hit the avatar and they can go to your page and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed or liked, please go ahead and do if you like that we what we're doing here. This is a place of connection, peer support, creativity, just getting together, hanging out with our friends, having topics that are fun to talk about, but also having topics that are not always as easy to talk about. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for participating in this channel. The way that you can help us is just if you haven't seen some of our stuff, uh, please go back and watch it. It would mean a lot to us tremendously if you would do that. You can go watch any of our playlists that you've seen. If you're watching this on Facebook, hop over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. You don't maybe realize how important that is, but it is tremendously. to the people that are putting the content in front of you. But if you have an opportunity to go through and watch some things you haven't or any of our nature stuff, we would appreciate it. Mocha says we're only 540 hours away from hitting that 3,000 watch hours. So I'll be putting up kind of um, little statuses of where we are watch hour wise with different pictures of Mocha. Thought that'd be fun. So she's going to be on Mocha Watch, right? She's going to be on Mocha Watch to let you know where we are from. Hi, Crafty. Oh, okay. I will make sure that I get you in, Crafty. We are praying for you, hon. I've been thinking about you all day. I told Jason that when I was in with Miss Dragon's Live, and for those that haven't had an opportunity to check Miss Dragon out, and I should have asked about you, and I was just in such, I was crying while I was typing, and I thought about it after and said, "Oh, yeah, that's right. Crafty was going for surgery. I needed to ask Jason how Crafty was." And I came back, but she was almost done with her live when I remembered that I needed to go back and ask him that. So he said, "Don't worry." He said, "You're going through a lot. So please know that I've been praying and thinking about you kind of all day and making sure that you are okay." So I thank you for your understanding and just your support as I'm kind of going through my own little struggle with my aunt and all that's going through there. So, thank you. We're praying for you. Heal up, rest, please. If you need some of those wonderful, relaxing nature things I've put on, just go ahead and put them on. And if that helps you to just kind of relax and sleep, then please put those on. I hope that maybe if that's something that will help, that you put them on and just sit there and go to sleep and rest and get well because you're a very important part of this community and the boat. And we love you. All right. And we got you. And if you need anything, please reach you or Jason need anything, please reach out. Please reach out. If it's just to talk, we're here. We're here. Um, we got you covered. Um, stay connected. Love you too. Yeah, I'm having a hard time, but I'm gonna get through it with connection, not food. We're gonna get through it together. That is for dang gone sure. That's for sure. So if you're watching this on the Facebooks, run over to the YouTubes and give us a subscribe. We'd totally appreciate it tremendously. It's great community. I can't tell you how awesome and wonderful that how wonderful that it is to have all the support. It's tremendous. Alrighty. Stay connected, you all. Again, just real quick as a recap. Tomorrow I will come on and we're just going to do a topic Thursday live with just connecting. The focus of that is going to be the importance of connection. I've got some earrings I need to paint white before I do any paint pour on them. So I thought I'll take you outside and we'll just paint the earrings and we'll just chit chat. That'll be sometime tomorrow. I haven't quite decided what time. Um, Friday is we're going to focus on planning for success, which we're going to kind of focus that kind of towards meal planning. If you want to be successful in anything that you have in life, you need to plan for it. And I think that if I'm realizing the importance of planning things out, if I want to be successful with the YouTube channel, we got to plan out the shorts. So that's off of our plate and all that stuff. Plan for meals so you can eat healthy and so forth. And then Saturday, we'll do a Saturday reflection. Oh, awesome. Thank you. That'll be awesome. I have a disco ball keychain. I'm going to make it. I've got some of this yarn left. This little sparkly yarn. It's purple. It doesn't look purple, but it's this. And I've got some sparkle yarn with turquoise. And I've got black. And I've got keychains coming because I'm going to be making small little disco ball keychains. Um, they're gonna be, but with this sparkle yarn, but I have to really focus on this blanket that I've got to get done, and I'd like to get it done before Patty gets here because I think if I don't, uh, I'll be at November going, "Oh, dang on it." Okay. I'll send it to you. I'll send uh, Alfonso, I will. It may not be till this weekend. We've been going through so much with my aunt. I mean, it's just been my head's been going like this. Um, but I have can't even think. I have to finish that because I think that if I don't try to finish that blanket, she's gonna come. It's gonna get put away, and then I'm gonna be like, "Oh, dang on it! It's November, and it's due by December 1st." And so December 1st is gonna be here before you know it. But I did this, and I've got the acrylic rings coming to be able to put these on the website. All right. Um, yes, I'm gonna put these on the website. I've got the acrylic rings coming. So that anybody that is looking for towel holders, I love this. And I actually have towel holders that I use in our thing, so I don't have to pick up the washcloth 3,000 times. And I'm gonna actually replace them because what happens with the I'm using hair ties is the hair ties stretch out so much that I actually find them to be stretched out. These and then it stretches out. These seem to be very sturdy. I mean, as far as their stretch point, I mean, all crochet will stretch, but as far as it stretching, this does not. Stretches a lot less than what I designed my first one. So I will show these when these are designed, but I've got a lot of scrap yarn. I saw those bracelets. I think they're awesome, crafty. Um, um, the scrap yarn, and I'm going to do them, and then I'll put them up in the merch store for anybody that wants them. I'm also going to work on more booties. Those are going to go up, but I have to finish this blanket. I've just got to. I've just said to myself, my fear is with this blanket, because I have half of April, May, June, July, end of July. If I don't get it done before Patty comes, yes, it is because I've got scrap yarn I can use. These things are great when you start using them in your kitchen for your rags. You don't have to pick them up 3,000 times. But I like this design a lot better because it's a lot sturdier. It's just the stretch value isn't there. I really like this. It's very sturdy. And it stretches a little bit, but not like the ones that I first made. So that's my design for my towel holders. It was my Pacific one, and I will not if you're a crocheter, you could probably figure out how I did it, but I'm not gonna tell you how I did it because I want to sell them. Plus I'm doing a craft show in November, so I want to have stuff like that to sell. I thought if I can go to like Dollar Tree and find some, because it's green. So if I go to Dollar Tree and find some pretty um, Christmassy or Thanksgiving towels, I can put them with that as sets and stuff. Um, but I'm figuring if I don't get this blanket done, what's going to happen is she's going to come on the 14th, 15th, or 16th, right? And then she's going to come the 15th or 16th. She's going to leave on the 23rd, which I'm going to be a wreck, and I won't get back to it maybe till September. And before I know it, it's going to be December and it's going to be due by then. So I don't want to have that on my shoulders. I want to get it done so that I can spend the time after she leaves focusing on craft show related items for the craft show I'm doing in with my mom in November. I don't want to focus on that. I know I've got to get that done. The thing crafty that I was because I was thinking of doing these, right? But I didn't like the first design I did because I loved it. I used the hair the circle ribbon, the hair ties, right? But I don't like the way they stretch out, right? Yeah, I want I can get it done. I just need to sit down and do it. I've been really kind of making myself work on nothing else but that because I know what I'm doing. I'm pushing it aside. Which is why I told the lady you're gonna have to give me a year because I knew what I was gonna do with it. Um The thing about this is when I looked at the pattern online, right? Um, Everybody was talking about macrame rings, but macrame rings are wood. Now you can use this with acrylic or you can use it. I I don't need them. I had them. But then what I'm finding out with the ones I have there is that the elastic things for your hair ties, they get stretchy and then they kind of stretch out of whack. So I don't want to use them. And I'm thinking, well, the macrame rings are great, but then they're wood. So you would think that if you have them for the wood, eventually they're going to warp because they're wood. And if you got the towels and they've got wet, you're hanging there to dry, they're going to warp. So I'm like, does this really make sense to use wooden ones? Yeah. So I found these acrylic that you would hang scarves with, like in shops. They would hang scarves with them. And so I ordered those because I figured these are acrylic. Now, if I wanted to take acrylic yarn and put it around just for decoration, I could. But if I use the acrylic ones, then if I use the acrylic ones, then that way, you know, and some they were doing like towel ring holders. People have shown pictures of them. Then if they're acrylic, they're not going to work because they're plastic. And I thought this is a better idea than using the wooden ones. And they were going to be, they were $29 for 100, which means that I would need 50 of them, right? Because you need the metal hooks for each side. So you just take it and put it right over your oven, right? You need two. So I'm like, that makes sense because then if you're making if you make 50 of these and the thing costs you 30, it maybe cost you like what, a buck a piece. But if you get the wooden ones, they did have like Total Boat, which was food proof or food safe and everything, sealant. And I thought I'm going to have to buy the wooden ones, which you only got 80 for 29, and then you had to get the sealant for 24. But then you had to get the sealant for 14 more dollars. I thought, I'll be up to 40 bucks by the time I'm done. I don't wanna sell them with the wooden macrame rings when you're dealing with towels that could be wet and then the wood's gonna warp. So so I'm like, "You know what? I might as well just get the acrylic one, so I'll show them and see and let you see them." But eventually, like I was talking before you came on, I'm gonna eventually have my, I can't do it till I have 1,000 we have 1,000 subscribers, but we can have our own, Amazon store. And so I can put, like, the craft glue that, I use and, like, those rings gonna use, I could put those in the crafts in the thing, and other things that I can we use, I'll put in my Amazon store, but I have to wait till I have 1,000 subscribers, and we're only 540 away from 3,000. And I was on Ben Bacon Bits, which I was so yeah, I'll send you a picture of them because 'cause I'll be able to connect with you on Facebook. Um, I was able to I didn't know I was a mod. It was such a privilege to be a mod on his channel. I was like, "Oh, what a nice surprise today." It was a nice surprise after all the stuff. And, Sharon was on there, and she's like, "Yeah, that disco ball. We're all broken pieces of disco ball." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my saying." She didn't bring up my name, but I put in the chat, I said, "I'm so glad I found the disco ball saying because it's taking itself on." Yeah, he is great, but, that real I just was in there going, "Wait a minute, I'm blue. That means I'm a mod." And I was like, I don't know if he's not on, but he did come in and do a little bit of a raid earlier, but I thought, "Thank you, Ben. You don't know how much I kinda needed that today." So, I've cried. I was crying through Miss Dragon's live. I was crying. I I was crying during my therapy today. And my therapist said, "This is hard. This is I don't know if I've dealt with passing of somebody this way in my life. It's thrown me off. It's like it's a very different one. My dad, we knew it was coming. He had 7 years worth of dementia. And he left this world under COVID situation. Or yeah, well, I'm not monetized, so it doesn't matter. So they'll bury it. Hopefully they don't. But C math, right? Um, he left it underneath that. So we were expecting it, but this is just she's full within she's not she's full, she knows what she's doing, she's full in her mind, and it's like she's gonna come. And one thing I said in Miss Dragon's live today was I'm gonna give her a big hug and say, when you see Dad, see Grandma, and when you see Uncle Sammy and Granddaddy, you give them all a big hug for me. And but then I know when she gets to the airport, we say our goodbyes. And I wasn't gonna go on in the car with my mom back to the airport, but I am going to. Because oh, I'm sorry, Crafty. Um, but my husband said, "I'll take the back roads." He said, "But you need to come because you need to be there with your mom. We don't want to leave you here while we take your aunt to the airport, and your mom's going to want to go, and then your mom's going to need you." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. I need to be there because then when we drop her off at the airport, we give her that last hug. That's it." It's a very different. It's different. It's like I'm thinking, well, should we get the Christmas tree out? I mean, I seriously thought about that. Should we get the Christmas tree out? Should we decorate the Christmas tree? We won't do it, but and I was even thinking we were going by the Thanksgiving stuff at the Hobby Lobby because I have 3 rows in that blanket to do, and I all ran out of the yarn I needed. I was so mad. Um, and then I don't need it again. I sat there thinking, there's Thanksgiving plates. I wonder if we should have Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, I was sitting there going, we probably won't have Thanksgiving dinner, but I did say to my daughter, I said, um, grandma's favorite holiday was, yeah. I'm like, well, we should just I said to Christina, I said, when Patty's here, you want to have your birthday with her? And she said, yeah, we'll just have my birthday early. We'll celebrate with her. And I said, well, we'll just celebrate everything. Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthday. We'll just celebrate it all. She said, yeah. I said, well, we'll have a cake. I ain't counting points at that point. We'll just have a cake and we'll celebrate. And Patty's going to, pretty much get what she what she wants. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I'm not so worried about when she comes. I'm worried when she leaves. That's where I'm like, and Kristen was so awesome. She just said a sweet message in one of the comments in one of the videos and said, you got a lot on your plate. Make sure you're staying connected. And she probably knows me because she knows when she leaves, I may crawl in a hole. And she'll be the first one to sit there and say, sis, you okay? You can't. Yeah, I'm not going to tremendously. I'm still going to watch them to some degree. I don't want to backtrack and gain back. I've lost 4.4 pounds. I don't want to gain it all back. Um, but if there's like, we have a really cool place here. It's called Walnut Creek, down in the Amish country, and they have the most amazing cinnamon rolls. So before my aunt comes, my husband and I will probably go down to the Amish country and pick up the cinnamon rolls to have for her to enjoy because they are the best. They're so good. Um, and so we'll probably go down and get some fresh cinnamon rolls. Um, or we'll make sure, we'll put some away for Christina or whatever, but we'll go down and get some fresh cinnamon rolls because they are so good for her to enjoy. And then there's another place here that has it's like a little place. It's like a place where you get apples, and they make cider donuts. They are so good. So we'll go pick up some donuts, we'll go pick up some cinnamon rolls, and I'm gonna enjoy them. I'm not gonna worry about it. We get a cake for Christina's birthday, I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm not gonna go hog crazy, I won't allow myself, but we're gonna enjoy it. There's this place here and they have you walk in and the smell is just unbelievable. Yeah, the best apple cider I've ever had. And when you get their cake, because my mom likes pie, so for Thanksgiving, we'll order their apple pie. I'm no joke. The topping on this pie is like this thick. So best apple pie I've ever had in my life. So good. So we'll go down and get some nice cinnamon rolls because my dad loved cinnamon rolls. So we'll go in and get cinnamon rolls and we'll enjoy it. And you know, we're gonna enjoy it and we're not gonna worry about it. And I'm gonna have you all hold me accountable when she leaves by not allowing myself to. I'll let you know when she leaves. By not allowing myself to hide in a corner. And when she leaves this world, I'm gonna make sure that I'm connected. And there may be times when after that happens, that I'm gonna come home here and cry. I've thought of that a lot in the past 24 hours. I don't want that call. My counselor was so funny. She asked that today. I swore I wasn't gonna cry again. I can't. So I'm not gonna cry today. I'm not gonna cry. Um, she said to me today, I said, "Well, you have to understand my aunt. Um, my dad was like the Energizer Bunny, and I'm not joking. I'm serious. He was like the Energizer Bunny, and he used to just thank you, Janet G. He used to just I I don't know where this man got all this energy. I really don't. I don't know. Um, don't tear up. We want you to get well. I'm trying not to. I've held it together for the most part. Um, and she was like, and or he was, and my aunt's kind of the same way. So I love my aunt to pieces. But she's she's she smokes, and that she'll do till the day she dies. I know she will. But she's just gonna be she'll be in it, and so we'll laugh. She'll drive us nuts a little bit, you know. We're gonna smile. We're gonna cry a little bit. It'll be a mixture of emotions. Um, my aunt's been through a lot in her life. She has fought drugs and alcohol for a long time. She's now since 2013 has been sober and clean. She had a really rough life. And um, right now, when she gets on the phone, she's just you can't really talk to her. She just has to just talk, um, which is fine. And because she's just there's so many decisions, and she's just trying to grasp it. And doctors have started to talk about hospice, and she can't even hear hospice. And um, so it's just it's a lot. And then, of course, not being there, we're in Ohio and she's in Florida makes it hard. And then the other situation with the other family member that is connected with all this that I think has made the situation even harder than it needed to be. And to some degree, that whole situation makes me sad. It makes this whole thing even sadder than it needs to be because none of that needed to happen. That person chose to do what they did, but they didn't need to do it. And there's nothing I can do about it. But it's made the situation just a lot more difficult, and it just sucks. The whole thing, the cancer, the whole thing just sucks. And so, I know that, Cricket I sent Cricket, the, information because I was in a point yesterday where I'm like, I'm trying to look for travel stuff, and I could not even look at that. Couldn't even. Um, so she may not be even, so maybe she sleeps or she's busy. I know she's got a lot going on, but, um, yeah, I'm not going into detail, but the whole situation didn't need to happen. It really didn't, and I didn't do anything to make it happen. I really apologize for something that I didn't even do. That should not have been that big a deal. Enough to, and I the only thing that I can say in the entire thing, and I've said it from day one, is I'm sure to glad my daddy is not here to see this. Because my daddy was, oh, he'd be upset. She wouldn't be doing what she's doing, but he would be so upset and so hurt. And every time that my aunt says something about the situation, the aunt's passing away, she's just like, I am so sorry this is happening. I'm so sorry this is happening to my family. And I'm like, I don't, I mean, my mother and I have sat there saying, I don't even know if we've got her friends that have our phone number because we don't even know when that happens, when she does leave this world, whether we'll even get a phone call from the other family member to tell us. And how strange is that going to be? You haven't picked up the phone since December of last year. And I'm not, she's a love person, is a lovely person. I love her. She called me right now, I'd hang up this live and I'd be on the phone and I would forgive her in a heartbeat. Um, but how awkward is that going to be? She's going to call my mother and say, she's no longer with us. Goodbye. I'm just, I'm just telling y'all. Listen, if you don't agree with somebody politically or religiously or whatever, and just walk away, agree to disagree. If they've done something to hurt you, it's not worth not trying to work it out. Work it out. Enough's enough of tearing families apart because they've said something that you've taken out of context. They've done something. If you're holding a grudge about whatever in heck they've done, you know what? Let it go. If you want to sit there and hold a freaking grudge because somebody's done something that made you upset, and there are things that are non-forgivable and all that. I'm just talking about basic stuff here. Let it go. It's not worth it. This whole I'm never I won't ever go into detail about the whole thing until that other person is no longer here. And then I'll go into detail because I just won't do it all over. I'm not. But it is so I guess to that person it's so huge, but it's petty. Exactly right. It's so petty. If it's petty stuff and you're holding a grudge, God help you. If you've got enough energy in your darn soul to hold a grudge and hold it over petty stuff, I mean, I'm glad I don't have energy for it. I can't stay mad at anybody for very long. Now, our family tends to do something that really drives me up a wall. My grandmother did it. My aunts have done it. My dad did it. Christina's done it. I've done it. We tend to lash out when we're angry. So when I get upset with somebody, I've worked really hard over the past many years to just shut my trap. It's not easy. My daughter hates it, but I will sometimes shut my trap for 3 or 4 hours. I can't stay mad at anybody for very long. I can't. It's not in my nature to. I want to deal with my emotions. I want to be quiet. I want to let myself calm down. I want to then have a calm discussion about it, resolve it, put it in the non-fishing pond and move on. That's what I want to do. But if you're so bent into holding a grudge to the point where you stop talking to somebody over stupid, petty stuff, is it worth it? In this situation, when one of the family members involved is dying of cancer and they're going to leave this world with their family split? Come on. It's not worth it. It's made this situation more painful than it needed to be. And I've tried to be very respectful because I thought, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I hope to come back one day and say, problem resolved. We talked about it. We resolved it. Problem solved, healed. And if that person called me right now, again, the live would be ended and I would be on the phone and I would be letting the person, I would forgive the person. I can't do that because everything's been taken away from me to be able to contact them except through mail. Now my mother hasn't, but my how is my mother supposed to choose? Have a relationship with my daughter or have a relationship I'm going to choose between my daughter and you? My daughter's going to win. But if there's no way for me to contact that person because it's been taken away from me and we've all been blocked on it, it's just ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous, and I'm not saying that that person's emotions and feelings aren't worth anything, that they're not valid, that they're not important, that they should not be heard, that they should not be acknowledged, and all absolutely 100%. But where are we on this side being able to say, "But we're not allowed to acknowledge our emotions or feelings? We're not allowed to be able to express how we feel? We're not allowed to be able to talk about." We're very one-sided. So the only thing that I have the ability to do and is to write a letter, and I am going to do it this by the next Friday. It's going to be done. And I've reached out to Krista and Melinda, and I said, I know you don't know the person, but could you just please read it? Because at least if I send it and it winds up in the trash, which I never want to know about, at least I'll feel like somebody's read the letter. My feelings, my emotions were respected and valued by somebody outside of our little family, right? I'm going to send the yarn because I got my inspiration to crochet through that person. My ring that I wear is from that person. My wedding band and not my wedding, my engagement ring came from that person because it was something that was designed by that person and my grandmother, so it was a family heirloom. So every time I look at my ring, I think of that person a little bit. Um, and so, you know, I'm just, I'm like sitting there going, how I have to be able to say what I feel. I have to be able to say, because I know people have said, write a letter and burn it. No, I need maybe they'll read it, maybe they'll change their mind. I don't know. But I'm gonna send the yarn. I'm gonna say, here's thank you for everything that you've done in my life. Thank you for everything that you've given me. Thank you for my passion for crochet. And talk about how I feel and send it in the letter. And if it winds up all in the garbage, then it winds up all in the garbage. If I just hope to God it doesn't come back with return to sender. And on the outside of the package, I'm going to very simply say, please read inside. There's yarn. Please read the note inside. And if you don't want it, then please give the yarn away. Don't send it back, return to sender. Please don't. I don't even want to know if the person never reads it. I'm gonna just assume that it was read, and at least I have somebody who I can say who knows the situation. I have 2 people actually. I may send it to both of them, and say, "Here, can you just read it? At least I'll know somebody read it. I don't know if the person's going to read it, but at least I'll feel like it's read." And in this situation, I get the opportunity to say goodbye because you've taken that away from me. You don't always have the opportunity to say goodbye when people leave this world, but hopefully you haven't ended a conversation with somebody with, I mean, my I guess not my fear, but my thinking in my back of my head is going, "I'm on. She's going to leave this world and it's going to be an unresolved issue. And I'm going to regret not reaching a letter out to her saying, I just want to thank you for everything and I love you and this is the way I feel. You've taken that away from me. You've taken the ability for me to contact you in any way, shape, or form over really petty stuff." So, I mean, if somebody leaves this world, hopefully you haven't left with them and you in a very either a disconnected relationship or not in a good spot relationship wise. And if you've done all you can, then you have to sit there and say, and I've done enough's enough. I've done all I can. But I don't feel like in this situation I've done all I can do to say, okay, guess what? I've done all I can. Enough's enough. Here you go. Here's the letter. I'm done. And I don't feel like I've done enough. And I feel like this is the last little bit. My mom was like, "I don't know why I sent her that yarn." And I said, "Because I can't use it. And it's my way of saying thank you. And it's my way of including a letter. Doesn't get read, it doesn't get read. But I've got people I'm sending it to. So I feel that it got read." Yep. And like Fonzo said, I never got a chance to say my goodbyes to anyone. I got brought up to Colorado abruptly from New Mexico, but I New Mexico back in 2018, and it still haunts me today. Absolutely. Yep. Fought hard with cancer and spread to his done and brain, and he let go after Jason told him we could take care of grandma. Yep. Exactly. I mean, it's just it's a messy situation I wish I didn't have to deal with, and but I need to deal with it. And I want to deal with it before Patty comes so that I could just go, "Here you go. Thank you. Here's the yarn. Thank you for everything. This is the way I feel. I have a right to my feelings as that person has a right to theirs. But this whole thing could have been worked itself out and we could have had a healthy discussion." And it's hard for me when I talk to my mom and she starts crying about it because it's like, do you realize I hope you're able to go to bed at night with a clear head and a clear conscience. Maybe you're not crying over this. We certainly have. Mom knows the whole story because I do not know what I would have done without that lady. Honest to God, back in December, between Nancy or Patty, not Nancy, Patty's diagnosis, right? Um, Patty's diagnosis, and then this whole other situation happening with the other person, and then I also was dealing with the anniversary of my dad's death, which is January 1st, and then my grandfather's anniversary of his death and his passing in December of 2000, or he passed in September or December 31st of 1997. So December's really really hard for me. And it was just like one after another, and it was like I don't know what I'd do without that lady because that was the first person on the lifeboat that really came and connected in a way that was like, "I'm here for you." And not that everybody wasn't there for me, they were, but she was there through Facebook chats, and we chatted. I was at 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, I've woken up with my third panic attack of the night. When you're awake and you have panic attacks, when you're awake and you have panic attacks, that's great. Or and it's not great, but it's at least you're knowledgeable of them. But when you wake up out of a dead sleep from a panic attack when you're asleep, it is absolutely frightening. And there were nights where I was like, okay, I've had my third panic attack sleeping. I guess I'm up for the rest of the night because I'm scared to death to go to sleep. And then I would get on the phone with her and talk for an hour, and then I could go to sleep and sleep through the night. But I didn't want to wake my husband up. And he was in the mix of the situation. He was sleeping. So she was, when I would reach out to her and go, can we talk? And she would talk. Um, because I was like, okay, I've had my third panic attack of the night. I don't want to go back to sleep. I'm too scared. So I would sit and talk to her for an hour, and then I could actually sleep because I had talked it out enough to, I guess, to the point where I felt comfortable to go to sleep again. I was I have those every once in a while. I'll wake up from a panic attack sound asleep. It is, ugh, your heart's racing and you go, and you're just sort of like, when I can go to sleep at night and I don't have them, yep. I was so tired last night. I was like, if I wake up with one of those, please. No. My husband said, you were asleep in 10 minutes. You were so tired. And Mona was fussing at me because I was going, I hadn't taken my medicine for like longer than 24 hours. I took my medicine this afternoon, by the way. And she's like, take your medicine and go to sleep. And I'm like, I'm trying. But I got on to Pup Groomer 20, and she was doing diamond painting, and I talked for a little bit, and I said, I'm going to lurker status so I could just have somebody talk to me because I couldn't shut my mind off last night. I just couldn't. So I know I'm gonna need you all when she leaves. And I know, if you come on one day, and whether it's 6 months down the road or whether it's 8 months down the road or 3 months down the road, when that happens where she leaves, I know I'm really gonna come on and I'm gonna be emotional. But I know you'll all be here for me, and that's the important part. Um, I was thinking today, as I was thinking of a lot of things, and I said, Lord, let her come see us. Let her go see, you know, who else she feels she needs to see, that other family member. Let her go see her. Have a wonderful time. Enjoy. One thing I'm going to say to her is please give that other person a hug from us and tell her that we love her. Um, and then my request is when she comes back from all that at the end of September, that God will take her. I've almost just started praying that God will take her in her sleep. That she'll just go very peacefully and quietly without any long term, long duration of this. She wants to go see a beach in Jacksonville, um, that she may go to, and get that all done. Go come and see who you need to see. Then Lord take her home without a lot of pain and suffering. That's my prayer. Um, and I haven't started praying that prayer yet, except for let her get to the people she needs to see in the place she wants to see before she leaves, and then take her. And then the other prayer request for those that are praying, her daughter is who I'm very worried for. Her daughter deals with mental illness. As long as she's on her meds, she does pretty good. When she doesn't, she's really not good. Um, and I have this really not so good feeling that it will not take very long after. I'm thankful to one degree that she doesn't have any children. I don't think I always used to say if something happened to her daughter first, and then it wouldn't be long before Patty would just die of heartbreak. And I think it's almost going to be almost the same. I could be very wrong, but I do have this fear that it we'll probably get the call not very long after that, that she's no longer here. I just have this feeling. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Um, her daughter knows we're all here. If she needs to talk, we're here for support. that we love her, that she, we're always here for her. She knows that. I've told my cousin, call me day or night. I don't care. She knows I love her. And I hope she knows that. And I hope that she stays on her medicine and that she knows that there's a lot of people that love her. And, you know, I hope that I hope to be wrong. I hope, but I'm worried for her after that, that happens. I'm worried for her emotionally more than anything. I think that's where I am. And there's nothing we can do she's in Florida, we're in Ohio. So there's nothing we can do other than love her and let her know we're here to support her if need be. I didn't intend for this live to continue on for 3 hours. Boy, I guess I needed to talk. That's one thing my dad had. And it was a good talker. So was I. Um, but I'm concerned for her, really emotionally. I'm concerned, and I just hope that she knows she's loved and that we're here for her and stay strong. Um, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm a lot better than I was yesterday, Crafty. I I tried to do this live yesterday and it was impossible. It was nearly impossible. It wasn't going to happen. So I know the boat's about ready to come on. I need to change the sheets. But let's make enough much more of a positive motivator than it than looking at it in a frustrating way. I think we can say enough's enough, you know, on when it comes to weight, enough's enough with procrastinating, enough's enough with not meal planning. And again, we will talk. I'll try to come on tomorrow and paint those wooden earrings white, take you outside, do a connection or a topic Thursday, outside live. Um, Friday, we're going to talk about planning for success, which is we're going to kind of focus that a little bit around other things you can plan for success, but around really kind of meal planning. And then Saturday, we're doing a new episode. I'm going to try to anyway. On can't think what it is now. On reflecting on our quote for the week. I'm starting to do a Saturday reflection thing like we do for Topic Thursday that we record. And then we'll go back to Lighthouse Monday. And I'm thinking about doing Lighthouse Monday a little different and maybe coming on for a little bit, like an hour before we go into Lighthouse Monday and doing a live and seeing if that just doesn't start generating conversation and getting people the idea for a while. I will get back to that. And we're going to start getting these shorts and all this stuff loaded because I want to get it to the end of the year and get them 540 watch hours left. Get to 3,000. Oh, I'm telling you, if you people don't think that the YouTube thing is hard, it's hard. A lot harder than I ever thought it was going to be. I thought, oh, watch hours just come like this. And you're just sitting there going, you know, they just come just a little bit quicker than. And then I won't do it tonight because I have to set it up. But tomorrow, I found this really relaxing stream, relaxing music. And I've just got to find a setting that I want to run in a loop. I'll run that tomorrow, and then Thursday, Sunday, I'm gonna do rainstorms and thunderstorms, a thunderstorm stream. And I was also thinking about doing thank you, Crafty. I was also thinking about doing my brain is not functioning anymore. Wind chimes. That may be a really nice one if I can find one. I tried to find a train. I don't think I'll be able to find a train that I like. But I think I may try wind chimes. I think that would be found a really nice wind chime one. Like like the different kinds. Sometimes there's like the wooden ones and they give a different sound. But I found a wooden one, maybe a metal one, and I've got a list in the desk of other lives of nature stuff and all. I'm gonna start doing them like either on Monday nights or Sunday nights, Wednesday or Thursday nights, for the next little bit because those really, I mean, those I can get 20, 30 watch hours really easily. And then they're there for you guys to just go back and you can watch them up to 7 times, and I think I get credit for them. So they're great to go back and watch again. So I'm gonna do that. But this is really, I found it's like 20 minutes. It's just me. It's just relaxing. I just put the great nature music background for it. So we'll do a little craft. And then crafty, we're gonna be doing paint pouring. I've got the earrings and I've got the little round things coming. Um, the little round things coming for the little crochet hooks. Um, love you too. Um, the little round things coming. I'm going to put the crochet numbers on. I've got them coming. So we're going to paint pour those, and I'm going to do the paint pour two different ways. I'm going to lay the earrings flat so that the back side of the things will be painted a different color. I'll have to put like oh, and I have to get some floral ribbon from or floral wire from Dollar Tree. Like white, red, not red, painter's tape, and put that on the back of them so that I can lay the earrings flat and paint pour directly this way, make the cups the same, and paint pour. And then also paint pour um, the earrings um, from I found like these little racks, and I'm gonna put them on, let the paint drip like this. I will show you all tomorrow the paint pour earrings I did one time. The reason they've all got to be painted white is that their earrings are pretty, but because I paint poured them right on the wood, their colors are not still shining brightly because the white wasn't on there first. So, well, that's awesome. I will definitely join. I can always come and craft with you. We can do a live together, and I'll be glad to craft with you. Um, but I found out the last time I did it directly on the wood, and when I did that, because it wasn't painted white, the colors have kind of, they're beautiful. And then I got like this, the 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 um the glue. I turned my mic off. Um, if you use this, which is the sparkle glue, right? And you paint that over anything, it'll add sparkle to the earrings, but then it'll seal anything in. And then you've got the glue and you've got the paint all in one, or the paint and the glue all in one. Love using that trick. And then I'll seal the earrings and I'll put them up on the thing. And then I've got, did I show you? Maybe you were on, or maybe you weren't. I don't know where I stuck. Oh, it's right here. Hold on a second. Did you see Crafty when I ordered the dream catchers? Did you see those? Because when I paint pour, I'm going to have skins left over. So I got the earrings. So I've got to paint these white because if I don't, then that same problem is going to happen. I got the earrings. And then I'm going to get the small little um, round things, round wooden things for the round wooden circles to put all the hook size numbers on, right? Yep. I God's got it because I'm letting it go. Okay, Lord, it's out of my control. But when you paint pour, you wind up with skins. If you put stuff on a silicone mat, right, you wind up with called paint skins. And you take those paint skins, right? And I ordered these first. Now there's several different designs I can get in Amazon. But I wanted to start off with these first because I wanted y'all to remember to chase your dreams, right? So what you do is you take these little glass, right? These little glass. I know the name, but God, I can't say it right now. Little glass, little things, right? And you put them down on the the paint the paint skins. Once the paint pours dribble down, you get a whole different thing on the bottom, right? And you clean it with alcohol, and you put it down on the layer of the paint skin, and you just kind of move it around because now if it's magnified, right? It's magnified. So you take it around and you put it around around the thing till you find, and then you take that and you glue it down, right? Then you take an X-Acto knife and just cut around to, yeah, kind of. But these are like glass little thing and they're magnified. And then you take the glue, which I'm going to just use my glue I use for my crochet, or you can use E6000, right? And you take that once the paint is on and you've cut it out, and you can put it on in the inside of this. And I've got some necklaces. I will bring out some of my necklaces tomorrow. I want you all to remember to chase your dreams. So I will be able to put these up in the merch store. Now these will be one individual at a time because each one will be different. And then I've got the necklaces to put with them. But I have them in silver and um, gunmetal and rose gold and gold. And they have all different shapes. They've got bookmarks, they've got earrings, they've got a lot of different shapes. But the first ones I ordered were the dream catchers because I thought that's the first one I want to put up. But then they go in there and they make such a pretty thing because you see how it really magnifies it. And they're really cool. And then they have that paint pour in them. And that's what I'll do once we get once the skins have dried. And if you paint on silicone mats, then and let the paint drip, then you just can peel it off, and you've got it. Yeah, they've got earrings and necklaces and bookmarks and charms and keychains, and I mean it's a whole thing on the Amazon. But I started off with the dream catchers first, and I've done them before because I really want to do them for that upcoming show that we have, and I'm probably going to order some more. But I really enjoy paint pour because it's very relaxing. Yeah, it's very relaxing, and I think that one of the things that'll be nice when, and I probably will save this until Patty leaves because I think that this will be a really. I do want to start painting because I'll have a lot of them. I have like 200 of the little round wooden things to do. So I've got like 200 of those to paint both sides. So I thought I'll probably do that beforehand and just let them cure real good and dry. And then when she leaves, then we'll start doing the paint pour because it'll just be a distraction. That'll be a distraction for me to get out there and do the paint pour with y'all and not sit there thinking about Patty. So I think that's what I'll save it for. But I'm going to start painting the earrings now. That way they'll dry and cure real good. Well, 3 hours. I didn't expect it, but we had fun. We had fun. People popped in that I loved, and I'm so glad I got to talk to you, Crafty. What a wonderful thing. And we will have to get together and do a live for sure. I'm going to get off here. We are, my husband and I have made a decision to go to the pool. I asked him for help. I may regret this later, but he needs to start moving, and he has a real trouble moving pain wise when he's just walking. Um, and so we need to get him moving and walking. And I said, I need your help to go to the pool. So he has the alarm set for 7 o'clock tomorrow. So I'm going to get up as a loving wife and I'm going to go to the pool. And I know I'll feel better, but I'm not going to like the pool. I'm not going to like waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, but I'm going to go. Enough's enough, right? Um, oh my goodness. Mona, I'm so sorry. So anyway, enough's enough. We're gonna get moving. So I'll let y'all know. So I'm probably gonna go there, probably come home and have a nap. and then maybe in the afternoon we'll get on and do a little craft and do a topic Thursday live and show the importance of connection. I think that will be good. And then I'll get back to pre-recorded devotion Tuesday and connection Thursday. I'll start trying to record that this weekend. Try. But remember, enough's enough, but we're going to use it in a positive way, right? So thank you all for joining us so much, whether you join me here or the Facebooks. Uh, if you haven't, please come over and subscribe. We hang out, we have fun, we talk about good fun things, we talk about hard things too as well. Connect with other people, great people here, great people on the lifeboat. Um, Come and check us out, and we appreciate all the support. Do the like, do the dislike. I'm gonna tell you which one to do, but hope you do one of them. And I will talk to everybody later. Thank you so much, you all, tremendously for staying connected and helping me through this and the support. It's just it staying connected can be really life changing. So can Jesus too as well, but he is for sure life changing. But connection overall can be such a huge help, whatever you're going through in life. So stay connected, you all, and we got you covered. And let Scott take us out. Have a good night, everybody. Love y'all.
So proud.